จะไปฉัน
What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? We're tapping in. Welcome to the YouTube channel, man. Well, this is the Blockout Podcast. My name is ODM right here, your daddy's favorite rapper, your mama's favorite DJ. And shout outs to everybody who are listening to this back on the playback as well, because you know on the audio forms as well as Spotify and Apple Music, Pandora, on the playback once again. But if you're here and if you are listening on those platforms, we invite you every Monday night. We go live on YouTube at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that's what we're doing, right? So you can watch and get the real feel. Because today, ladies and gentlemen, we are out in the city. We're in Hollywood right now, California, where it all happens, the magic goes down, and we're going to get into our guests in just a few. First and foremost, I personally want to shout out everybody on behalf of myself, Danny Boy, Money Moons, the whole crew, Blackout crew. We're out there, Tomas, and San Diego at the Chicano Heritage Festival, man. It went down. Lighter shade of brown, Mr. Shadow, Conejo, a little one even came on stage, man. He had a lot to do with that event as well. And just a lot of shout outs to Dominator, man. We just did that thing, man. And props off to Little One for doing this thing and putting that thing together. I think we got something good happening right there. So more of those shows to come. San Diego was super lit and a perfect way to celebrate me and wifey's 8-year anniversary. So shout outs to my wife, Vanessa, if you're watching. And cheers to many more years, baby. Let's get into this right now, though, because they said that this couldn't happen. They said, oh, man, you ain't going to be able to get this guest. Oh, that guy don't do interviews, man. Well, obviously, you don't know that your boy has built relationships, man, throughout the years. And I say that most respectfully and most humbly. But with a little cockiness, if I could throw that in there, too. It's like a mixture of that. Because, hey, you know, your boy has paid his dues, man. Today's guest is a producer, writer, musician. Based out of Los Angeles right now. His whole life is centered around playing and making music. Of course, growing up on it, appreciating all genres of music, gave him the ability to write and produce in just about any style, as you know him for his music. A self-taught keyboardist, all right, which is by ear. My man played for years in funk bands, opening up for old school legends like P-Funk All-Stars, Zapp and Roger, The Time, The Gap Band, The Commodores, just to name a few. And you know he's notorious for that Talkbox, man, of course. And one of the, I will say, one of the main contributors, if not to Chicano rap, as far as from the production side. And he's surrounded his music around his empire around a lot of your favorite Chicano rap stars, such as Little Rob, of course, man, Mr. Capone. The list goes on and on. Ladies and gentlemen, right here, it gives me great honor to present to you my boy, FINGAZZ on the track. Fingadelic music. What up, sir?
What's up, brother? Long time.
What's up, my G? Like, I feel like it's old times, bro, because I remember stepping foot in your purple room.
Yeah.
What you called it? The purple?
It was the purple room in Corona.
Yeah.
And you were living in Corona, too.
That's right. The bachelor's pad.
And I had met Baby Bash, Beach back then.
Yeah.
And Frost, and he was telling me about you. I think he introduced me to you at a show.
That's right.
In Anaheim or something. And
that's right. It was like this little, it was a pack. It was Orange County. Yeah.
Go on. It was a big ass show you were doing. And he introduced me to you. And we had realized that both our studios were in Corona. So you invited me over.
Yeah.
And then we started collaborating when you had, was it Brown Royal?
Yeah, Brown Royal.
Yeah. You were producing and had a bunch of different artists coming through.
Right.
So that kind of set it all off. That was kind of the beginning of my introduction to Chicano rap, was meeting you via Baby Bash and Frost.
Right.
That was kind of the jump off of me getting even down that lane.
Yeah.
Playing, already doing some West Coast gangster rap, and then doing the funk music and the Talkbox. It kind of was a perfect fit, you know, because it was kind of the sound of what that audience really wanted to hear, the oldies, the funk, the Talkbox. And
right.
And so we started collaborating, and it just kind of took off from there, right?
Absolutely.
Only a few years ago.
Yeah, yeah, right. It just seems like that, man.
Yeah.
I wish I could go back to those days. You know, those are the great days just coming up, man. But I want to go back to for those that because you don't do a lot of interviews, man, and I appreciate you taking my time. I know we boys, and that's why you decided to do that. And again, I thank you on camera, man, for taking this interview, bro. We got so much history together. But what I don't know, and this is just off the cuff, is where did FINGAZZ originate from, bro? Where were you born? Where were you raised up at?
I kind of moved around, but I was born officially in Pomona.
Oh, P-Town.
Yeah, P-Town.
Hey.
But I wasn't raised there. My family moved to Texas, and then they came back to like Huntington Beach, kind of settled in Orange County.
Okay.
And then eventually kind of in the Costa Mesa area, like around the fairgrounds and stuff.
Okay.
And so
for the most part, OC boy.
OC boy, and then as soon as I started playing in bands, I kind of didn't really vibe, in the area too much. I started meeting a lot of people, and then really got into the music production. And first studio was way out in Corona, and I really kind of felt more at home in the IE.
Yeah. How old were you at the time when you started playing keyboard or your first instrument? For real, like you said, I could do this. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I was singing probably at 2. I would hear songs and then sing them, but I wasn't serious about it. And I got serious on guitar, and I think around maybe the 3rd grade. I don't know what age that is, but I started taking guitar lessons, and I was good at it. But then I acted like a little bitch because my fingers started hurting.
Yeah.
Is
that how they call you fingers? No, I'm playing.
Yeah, exactly. That's the reason why.
Baby
little
fingers.
bitch fingers.
Little bitch fingers.
No, I wish I didn't, because I would probably be really good at guitar. But I at least got a sense that I could learn music. And my grandma used to always have an organ. She played the old school organs.
The organs. We had one at home. You just turn it on, click,
and you got the foot pedals and all that.
Yep.
So I would go over there and toy around on the organ and just figure out little songs and
did anybody taught? Oh no, you were self-taught though.
Well, my grandma actually showed me a couple little scales to kind of like play the jazzy type scales.
Okay.
So she kind of showed me a little bit, but I never really had any formal like piano lessons or nothing.
Yeah.
It was all just kind of by ear and figuring out how to play.
Did she play by ear, or was it
No, she was blown away that I could even hear something and play it. She'd have to read sheet music.
Yeah.
And she couldn't play a damn thing if there wasn't music in front of her, which I think is crazy because...
I hear you on that, man, because it's kind of similar. When I grew up, my grandfather had the same organ in the living room.
Oh, yeah.
And I would just, back then when we're growing up, we had nothing to play with it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like hearing it through the hallways. I run over there.
Yeah.
And then he moves over. I sit next to him, and he's just playing his he would play corridos. He would play Mexican music, but off a sheet. Same thing.
Yep.
And I would sit there, and then, he goes, Mio, you want to learn? Like, yeah, Grandpa. All right, hit these. And when he wasn't there, man, I had a full access to it.
Going off. And that just shows you have the music in your soul when you have an instrument like that. Even as a young kid, if you're drawn to it, it's like, okay, that music's calling me. So that was cool to have. Do
you remember what you were listening to at that point? I mean, I know you're 3rd grade, but I mean, obviously we're around the same age. So I mean, what mainly like pop? Were you listening to radio? Were you listening to?
Well, I do remember in my guitar lessons they were having me learn Beatles songs because they're pretty simple. Like the Hey Jude, like the real basic early Beatles stuff. Yeah. And I remember those. It wasn't necessarily what I was listening to. I can't say I remember what I was listening to. And I wouldn't say I was a super fan of anything until like Michael Jackson and Prince. Those things.
The funk era.
Yeah, like that. And that was more the pop side of funk, like I wasn't even aware yet of like Cameo or something like that. Yeah. It wasn't played around in my house, but of course, Michael Jackson was like, it's that first introduction to like funk, right? And Prince, of course, too. But it's the pop version of it.
Yeah, I think the Thriller album was the one. Even before I think I got into Michael was Off the Wall album.
Yeah, my pops actually had a record player, and he used to play the Off the Wall before I even knew about Thriller, and I was liking it, but I wasn't aware. He wasn't like the superstar that he was in Thriller. You know what I mean? Right. And so I really got into Prince and Michael Jackson, and that I really attached to that music.
So it was the funk sound that just kind of drawn you to the scene,
it was.
to the sound.
But you know what's funny is one of the groups I really liked from the 80s when I was a kid was Duran Duran.
Yes.
And
all
they
over the
had
radio.
like funky bass lines, and they just had these crazy melodies and harmonies in the vocals, and I really liked that stuff. So I was, and then the synthesizers in the music.
Yep.
It made me want to play synthesizer. You know what I mean? Like it was a big part.
That
of
was
their
a big
music.
part of the Euro scene, right?
Depeche Mode. You remember like
Yeah.
Depeche Mode with like synthesizer was a big deal.
Yep.
And so it made me want to play like with synthesizers and that type of keyboard, not just piano.
Right.
And so that's when I really wanted to get into that side of electronic music, and I started toying with that. Then I started realizing that, you know, when I started really digging in on the funk, that all those synthesizers were originally in that music going back even before then. And
so you started doing your research on the
yeah,
on the
well, there was a band I saw called Slapback from Orange County that I just changed my life because they were like deep funk. It wasn't like Prince and Michael pop songs. They were like deep funk,
more like the
some George
backyard
Clinton,
boogie,
like,
digging the crates type shit.
real George Clinton, like heavy on the one funk. And I saw them live, and I immediately wanted to do that. And I looked at all the keyboards they were using, and I went, yeah, you remember the Recycler magazine?
Yeah, yeah.
You did? I went the next day.
Next to the green sheet.
Yeah, I went the next day to look in the recycler to look for the kind of keyboards they were using, see if anybody's selling them cheap for used.
Yeah.
And I never was trying to be in a band, but I happened to flip to the musicians wanted when they're, a band's looking for musicians. And my eyes just went to this one article posting in there saying that a funk band was looking for a keyboard player that for a band, and the influence were Prince, Parliament, and Slapback, which is a group I just saw the night before.
Wow.
So I tripped out. I called the dude. He only lived in Santa Ana. And we linked up. Turns out he rolled with those guys, kind of, like not a groupie, but, he was a musician trying to follow in their footsteps.
Yeah.
And then he introduced me to a bunch of other cats. You might have met Sheldon. Remember the guitar player Sheldon?
Wow. That was
That's
one
how
of the
I
first
met
homies
Sheldon.
that you had. Yeah.
That's how I met Sheldon.
That's right.
And we're like,
It's all coming
18,
back now.
18. I'm fresh out of high school, fake ID, trying to play in bars and stuff. And I clicked with this little group of musicians, and we all just like dove in to the funk, live band style.
So so at this point you're 17, 18, and you joined Slapback.
Not at first. We made our own band that was kind of shadowing Slapback.
What was it called?
I think the first name was Bean Pie.
Oh, that's not racist.
Maybe for me, but I'm not the one who came up with the name. And I think we changed our name to then it became Goldfish later.
Yeah.
And we became a popular kind of funk cover band.
That's right.
And that's when I started making some kind of money playing in bars and shit. And we were played from Orange County to San Diego to San Francisco. We would drive to San Francisco and make like $40.
Yeah, back in those days, it was like you do anything for some gas money.
Just to play, and we
Just
wanted
to
play live. But eventually, fast forward a few years later maybe, I ended up getting into Slapback, and I played with them for a couple years.
Yeah.
Which was really cool because Jared Harris, the leader of that band, he's like a prince. He plays every instrument better than you can imagine. And he was kind of a mentor, and when my timing was off, that fool would look at me on stage, whip his head around like, you're fucking up.
No shit.
And he tried to whip you into shape to be a real musician.
Now you're playing guitar at this point?
No, that was all keyboards.
You're playing keyboards.
Keyboards at that time.
Got it.
So, but I was kind of baby producing at the time.
Okay.
So, a couple of songs he was doing, he let me kind of collaborate a little bit so we could add more of a rap element where we use sample drums instead of the drum kit and make it sound a little more full. If you remember in that era, early 90s, that was Ice Cube era, Snoop, Doggy Style, where it was funk music, right?
Right.
But it had the big fat drums layered on top of it. So what I was trying to have to do with the band's music was add that heavy drum section to our funk music to make it kind of pop it, with the sound of what was going on in hip hop. And we did a couple records like that. So I kind of got my feet wet in producing at that stage too.
Now you play, let's run it down. You play keyboards, you play bass, or you play guitar, and you play drums too, right?
I would say I was a real player of keyboards and drums. Like after I left Slapback, I actually joined another band playing drums. And I was doing 80s covers,
right? Playing
drums.
Was that in San Diego?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was all on the Gas Lamp and all around, mostly San Diego. We were called 80s All-Stars, and it was another musical education where every night almost I was getting paid to play drums because I wasn't a great drummer. I knew how to play, but I bought a kit and auditioned for that band with never having owned a full drum kit.
So obviously they already had a keyboardist that was taken.
Well,
so.
here's why I got in the band, because they needed backing tracks so they could play it from a mini disc.
Mm.
They had the little mini disc.
We did a lot of shows on mini disc.
Yeah, man. So they had mini disc to play on stage with a click track, and then they would be able to keep the band small. They could make it sound big like the record, right?
Right.
So I basically made like karaoke backing tracks. Yeah. And I programmed all of them, and they paid me to do 3 sets worth of music for this 80s band. And they had their guitar player, singer, and bass player, and they needed a drummer. So I said, I want to do that. I want to learn and get good at drums. So I bought a kit. I said, well, I did your backing tracks, but I want to play drums in the band. They said, you're not a drummer. I said, well, give me 20 days and then test me out. And then I ended up getting a kit and practicing, and they let me in the band, and I wasn't that great, but I got better and better every time we did shows.
Yeah.
And I did that for 6 years, playing like in bars and in clubs. Even when I had the Purple Room.
Were you doing casinos and just the whole circuit?
Wherever we could get a show. I mean, we used to do, regular gigs like every week at like Belly Up and in Solana Beach. We did, used to be called Buffalo Joe's. Back in the day, it was right on like 5th and Market in the Gas Lamp.
Okay.
And we were,
but it was all centered in San Diego.
Mostly San Diego, but
okay.
we would spread out a little bit. We were doing like some Tucson. We were even driving to Tucson to do like some college, shows.
Yeah.
So we kind of did wherever we could get the dough, but mostly San Diego, and that's where I met my wife in that very Gas Lamp bar.
As you're telling me this, like I remember this conversation we had years ago. Yeah. Shout out to Alanis, man.
What up, Alanis? Yep. She would come up and dance on stage during my drum solos, and she'd be in the bar party pumping the whole time.
You're like,
yeah, yep.
You're trying to play louder to get her attention. No, man, that's crazy, bro. Because that's how I met my wife. I was DJing, and she was dancing right in front of me, man, at her dad's. It was a crazy story how they relate.
How do people that don't play instruments get women? I don't know.
I mean,
I'm just playing.
I mean, it was the real instrument that came later. Oh, Liz, you really done the drumstick later on me. No, but all jokes aside, bro. I mean, so you're coming up in the game, and this is the point where I think that's where I met you around. Now we're up to the point where I met you because you were still doing the gigs in San Diego, and you were driving back to Corona, back to the IE to produce. And I remember I wanted to book some. I don't know if I was booking studio time with you or somebody was bringing me, and you were like, "Well, I got to check my schedule. Oh, I can't do it this week because I'm playing the band. I'm playing in the band. I think you played on the band on the weekends, right?"
Yeah, sometimes it would be like Thursday till Sunday, and then I would come back up to Corona and I would play in the studio or produce in the studio as many days as I could. So like you remember, I might only have the Monday through Wednesdays, open.
Right.
Because in the beginning I wasn't making money in the studio. When we had the Purple Room, I was just trying to get my bars up, and whoever could come in and record, I was just practice for me. And if we made a couple bucks, cool. But we wasn't a living wage. You know what I mean?
But you knew what the fuck you were doing. And I say that with, just high respect, because FINGAZZ, I remember walking into his studio and everything was just as this is right here. Plush, just everything. You don't see too many wires. I mean, well, right now because we got a bunch of our shit here. But, I mean, and you knew every single little thing about every machine. And I remember just going in there asking you questions, and you would answer them just like right away. Oh, this does this. And you've always been a showmanship. You've always showed, people, you've never been like that dude that just hides shit. Like if somebody will ask something, you've always showed. And I remember that one of the things, that was one of the things that I remember, just one of the many things of you, impacting on me. Now, when I went to your studio at that time, you mentioned you were working with Bash already, and was it also JT and Too Deep? And Frost? Had you already done tracks before I went there and we started working?
Yes. I think Well, the first night I met them, I was playing with that band Slapback I told you about.
Right.
When I was in Slapback, they were opening for Two Live Crew at the House of Blues in Hollywood.
Okay.
And in the crowd, because Frost was cool with Two Live Crew, and they invited him he was in a studio session with Bash, and I don't think JT was there, but they came down to the House of Blues to catch the Two Live Crew because they were going to bring them on stage and let the little get the little lap dances and shit they do for their show.
Yeah.
And
Mr. Mick still getting those lap dances, by the way. Shout out to Mr. Mick, Two Live Crew.
Get it. So after I got off stage, Bash came up to me and he's like, do you do sessions? Do you do Talkbox sessions?
Didn't you have a fever? Weren't you sick or something?
I had the flu. I was dying.
Yeah.
I was dying, but he came up to me and he said, we'll pay you like what, like $250 or something.
This is Baby Bash.
Bash, yeah.
Okay.
He said, I'm producing with Kid Frost right down the street after we do this Two Live Crew. So here I got a fever. I'm sick. I want to get the money. I want to kind of work and get the chops up.
Grow.
But I'm dying. I got to wait for Frost to do his little Two Live Crew lap dance, then go back to the studio. They got to wait for the engineer to come, and it's a hot box in there.
Wait, was that the time Frost was doing porn? Is that why he had a bunch of like strippers? Like, he did porn at one time.
I don't know. I heard that.
Him being in porn.
No,
but
I know. I heard he had a little phase where was he hosting it or some shit? Yeah.
Bitches be all around him. Him and Snoop Dogg, man. Wait, go on.
They're little pimp phases. So that's how it started on stage right there. And I think they after I did that studio session, I had kind of played with the beat a little bit, even though they pulled something up, but I added the bass. You know how I do. I added a little bass line, zappy bass line, zap claps from my samples.
Right.
And so Bash was like, oh, you produce too? And I'm like, yeah, you should come check out my studio. And he brought Frost down, and we did a record with him, JT, and Frost.
That's right.
And it was like Latino Velvet project they were doing.
That's right.
And that was soon after that is when I met you. And I think JT was with Bash when I met you.
Okay, and that was when we met in Orange County, because I remember it was a conversation and it was like really packed that night. I remember, and you just, it was really fast and just in crossing and say, hey, this is Fingers. It was one of those things where the club was packed and you got to yell in people's ears to hear the conversation. I remember like coming up to you and I was like, hey, what's up, man? Hey, hey, pleasure to meet you. And then Bash was like really bigging you up, bro. Like, this dude fucking gets down on Talkbox, man. Talkbox, you got to hear him. He plays keys. But I'm like, man, I'm with it. I'm looking forward. Because at that time, I think I had just started production myself.
You did, yeah.
DWTX. I don't know if we were working on the last album, if you could see inside me or whatnot. But I remember I was getting my studio together. When I went to your Purple Room again, I also got introduced to, and I want to shed some light on them because you were heavy in the game working with IE artists solely, which would be, you had a compilation called, was it The Empire Strikes Back or Inland Empire Strikes Back?
Inland Empire Strikes Back.
And there's where you had Diamonique and Lunch. And
that was a little after that. So
okay,
just to clarify, the studio, the Purple Room studio.
Okay.
And just to put facts out there was, Flossie. People know who Flossie is. Flossie built that studio up. And that was where I got to learn and develop my skills right there. And he's the one who wanted to make a label where he brought Inland Empire artists, kind of put a shine on Inland Empire artists.
Okay, so he had struck the idea.
Because I wasn't originally from there. So he's the one that moved, was from there.
Okay.
And decided that, his house that he had in Corona was going to be the hub of this.
Got it.
So
okay.
I did, we built this studio up, and he was the one that was going out and kind of recruiting artists from the Inland Empire to come through. And he ended up meeting some of the Homeless Nation guys, Lunch, or his brother, maybe Gat, was the one that met him and brought him through, and they had a buzz. And then, we started doing a lot of music with particular groups that were really, really dope. Really dope.
Yeah,
and
shout out to Lunch, man. Homeless Nation, Diamonique, Gambit. And, I was introduced to them through you guys, of course, and they're still doing it. I mean, Diamonique's still producing and doing her thing. And got it.
Rest in peace, Bubby, too. I just heard Bubby was the kind of the OG of the crew, and he just recently passed. I saw. Might have been a year ago, but still I haven't talked to them in a long time. But, Diamonique is how was introduced to me by Lunch.
Okay.
He brought Diamonique over. Y'all know Diamonique. She's still doing her thing, killing it. dope producer too. Does video, everything. She was
right underneath your wing, though, right? Would
well,
you say?
I showed her
Is that fair
some
to say?
things. I showed her some things when she wanted to actually make beats and produce, and she actually paid attention. I've tried to make a lot of artists because I think when you know how to produce, it makes you a better artist. I tell everybody to learn how to produce yourself.
You guys hear that? Just letting you know.
Yeah. I mean, if you are serious about producing, learn an instrument or get any computer nowadays, you can make a beat, right? There's no excuse.
Right.
In your phone, damn it.
Yeah.
Your phone, you can make beats. Record your voice.
This spoiled ass age we're in right now.
Oh, they don't even know. They don't even know how hard it used to be. Did you used to have ADATs and shit? DA88s?
Yes, yes, sir.
We won't even go down that rabbit hole.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, so Dominique actually paid attention and got some good ass skills. And she can make some sick beats and produce herself, mix, and she's doing great. Still producing other people. And so that whole situation happened from, basing in the Inland Empire.
Right. And this was right before you just started catapulting to like other artists, different markets and whatnot, and building this, help contributing, like I mentioned, to this thing called Chicano rap. Now, I want to tell a story because as I was getting my studio together, and a lot of you guys know what I've done in my studios, the Bachelor Pad, and who I worked with, everyone from Capone to Baby Bash to, it was a lot of the same artists that Fingers and I
think I met
with.
Capone in your studio.
Yeah, that's where he started.
Yeah.
But even before there was a studio, this man right here was a guy. He was literally right down the street from me, like the next exit. And he said, "Look, man, if you need anything, bro, I'll come show you how to do." And I remember you went over there a couple of times and helped me wire some shit
wiring
up. Like he actually showed me how to, wire shit up. Because here I'm freshly new to the game. Produced a couple tracks for LSOB. But here I was really trying to take it serious, and that's when I first invested into a lot of my equipment, which I didn't know about. Like I didn't know what patch bays were.
Yeah.
I did have the ADATs back in those days. I had the Behringer board or whatever.
Yep, I remember
and you
that.
just kind of told me what was what and put it together, and I would go over there and watch you do your thing over there, and just like I said, just ask my questions. So I always picked his brain for that, but like I said, he was always cool about it, and there's I think where our bond started. And then after that, I think in 2002 is when I dropped my solo album. And
was it that long ago? Damn.
02, bro. 02. Closer. Closer was the single off that Shut Your album.
Yeah. I remember Closer was first.
So I was doing my thing at radio at the time, and Fingers, meanwhile, he was in there working, cooking in his shop, and that was a fun album, man. Shut Show was a fun album.
Yeah,
a lot of people really don't know about that album because it didn't see the light of day because of distribution or whatever it was.
It wasn't as easy as it is now.
Right.
Just go get a tune core and pay $20 or something. You got your shit up there like everybody else's. It was complicated to distribute an album and put it out. And then, God forbid, even trying to get it on the shelf at like a Sam Goody or something.
Right. You really had to have like somebody who knew a distributor at the time,
and
or
a lot
really
of
worked your street. You had to have a street team, man.
Street teams. I mean, there's so many layers to it that don't exist today. We didn't have social media to promote, none of that. So I mean, it's much easier.
So at that time, just to finish, what I was saying is such a fun album, man, and Fingers was like, "Yo, come on, let's vibe." We did that album. I don't know, I can't remember how long it took, but I mean, you would send me a couple beats. I'd go home, I'd write it, I'd record some of it at the station, just some dummy vocals, and I'd go back to your studio, and then I'd redo it and relay. That way, it was ready to go.
Didn't you let me use your Triton rack?
Probably.
For the production, and because I didn't have one and I didn't want to give it back.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, because that was like the Neptunes and everybody used that Triton.
Oh.
And I think you had it, or like a rack version or something, and you said, yeah, just use it for my album.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't want to give it back. Like, that shit
See, I didn't even know what I really had. See that at the time.
Yeah. Well, you shouldn't have wanted it back then. You shouldn't have wanted it back if you didn't know what it was.
Well, I knew what the sounds came out of it. That's all. Like, see, I hear by sounds like you, and if I knew something funky came out of there, and I had my particular, I have my little sets of sounds that I
you
go
made some
to.
dope beats. I remember the beats back then. You were pumping out some solid stuff.
And you know what it is, man. The more you produce, the more you just get better and better and better. And that went with my writing too, and a lot of the cats around me surrounding.
Yep.
As you know, Cornejo started at my studio. A couple
I
others.
know that.
Yeah,
Dope.
he came in there. Like I said, Capone. He started out in my studio, but I remember at that time you were also working with Corrupt and Roscoe. Let's talk about how that venture happened.
Yeah.
How did he come all the way to the IE and fuck with Fingers?
Well, once again, I'll have to give credit to Flossie on that because he was kind of the scout, we'll call it, for bringing talent to the studio built. And he had got word from, I think, South Central Cartel, who lived in Moreno Valley, I believe. I hope I don't mess the story up, but this is how I remember.
Say it like you know.
And he went out there because they gave him the 411, like, Corrupt's going to be at our studio tonight if you want to come through and, like, you know, try to show him some beats or whatever.
Right.
So he went on a mission, went out there, finally got him in the car, and ended up playing some of our music and our beats. He liked it. He said, I'm going to come through your studio, get 3 songs together for me with hooks ready to go.
Right.
I'm going to fall through and just bang them out, and we'll see what happens. So we did that. You know, we rushed. We got some of the artists we were working with to put dope hooks down. Shout out to Crook if he's listening. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but he was super dope. Kind of our little IE Nate Dogg, you know what I mean?
Crook,
He had a dope voice. And he put down some hooks on these beats, and we had 3 really solid records ready for Corrupt when he popped in. And he recorded all of them. 2 of them made it on his Space Boogie album.
There you go.
But as bonus tracks. So I think they made different versions of the album for exclusive for, like, you know, Sam Goody or Tower or something.
You bought the same album when they rewrapped it, but it came with 2 extra bonus tracks.
So ours were bonus tracks on one version of the album. I can't remember. And so we had kind of a little relationship with Corrupt after that. We'd work on some stuff after that here and there when he'd be in the area. And then I had gotten to a place where I was comfortable asking him to show Snoop something. You know, because I didn't want to jump the gun right off the top.
Right.
Like, oh, show Snoop something.
Yeah,
you know, I was already blown away that I was even in the presence of Corrupt, because he was like one of my top 3 MCs to ever work with. And so I didn't want to step out of bounds too early. So I had made this summer record that I was really happy with and had the Talkbox on it. And I thought if Snoop jumped on this would be a game over. This would elevate, you know, to a single, whatnot.
Right.
I asked Corrupt to show Snoop I Love Cali in the Summertime. This is probably 1999. And he immediately said, that is for my little brother, Roscoe. Had no idea who this is.
He robbed that shit.
16-year-old kid who just moved from Philly.
Oh.
And so I'm not going to argue with him. I said, well, if you say so, I mean, let's try it.
Yeah.
Brings Roscoe into the studio, and he's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean,
he murdered that track.
He's like Daz and Corrupt rolled into one. You know what I mean? At
16 years old, right.
Fire. And I was so blown away. Wasn't mad. And the record came out so nice that Corrupt is the one that shopped it to Priority Records. And they added it as a single to the Nothing But a Gangster Party compilation.
Okay.
With like Ice Cube joints and Snoop and classic West Coast bangers at the time. This was the only original single from that, and they promoted it at radio, and it ended up charting. It won the top.
We played 100. It, for sure.
Yeah, it was in regional.
He shoot a video for it?
No.
Okay, because I thought I was trying to look for one, but I think I found like a lyric video.
No
or something
video,
like that.
but it did a little charting on the rap charts. I think top 100. It broke the top 100.
See, back then, if your song popped, then you got a video. It wasn't like off top like nowadays.
No, because videos were like $100 grand minimum.
Hype Williams days and shit, man. Yeah,
$100 grand minimum. So, you know, and then if you remember, now that we're talking about Corrupt and Roscoe, started really building with Roscoe. Ended up getting a deal, and Roscoe ended up living in the house in the studio with us. And
I remember
Flossie was his legal guardian because he got close to his mom, and he said, "He'll be safe. I got my family here."
Yeah.
And so Roscoe basically lived in the studio for, I think it must have been 1.5 years.
Oh, so you guys were just knocking out
I'm
tracks.
talking about five full records a day. Just, you know, with a talented artist like that, was just getting my chops up.
Right. I was going to say sharpening your tools.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So we were banging them out. And if you remember when you were about to get on the radio, you were doing some overnights. We made you an intro that was one of the dopest radio intros ever.
I still have them.
Was it Roscoe and Corrupt or just Roscoe?
Nah, Corrupt was on it too.
Yeah, that's
Corrupt
what
was
I'm
on it
saying.
too. Yeah, I got them in the archive. I'm about to bust those out, man.
Fire intro, man.
We had a few intros that came out of your studio. I mean, shout out to Dominique once again. Lunch, Homeless Nation, Gambit. They all just would drop intros because that was my way of trying to give the IE artists some love at the time, or any hip hop for that matter, because radio's always political. So it's like,
just say that's payola. We wanted spins. That was just
I mean, nah.
That's a bribe. Those are bribes.
Radio was so different back then, man. You got to remember, this was before what they call these were the diary days,
Right.
And without getting into that, it was just you could get away get away with more just by playing long intros and everything. And those were the days when the radio DJ was a star.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
before social media. Now everybody's a broadcaster, man. But here we are today. But anyway, those such fun times. I have all those. I'm gonna have to look those up, man.
Yeah, they're fire.
So working with them with man, your discography, I was looking at it the other day when you sent it to me.
It's a lot.
Because I did a mix yesterday on Twitch, and I was like, yo, Fingers, man, could you have a list? Man, it was like over.
It's too much. And that's not even all of it. That's just select ones. I've probably done, I don't know for sure, but I've probably done like at least between 2,000 and 3,000 productions of all sizes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of them released, depending on the level of release. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Some more underground, some, were big. Some were, some of them, thank God, were hits. Got lucky.
At what point did you start to see, your contribution? Well, not your contributions, but when you started to see Chicano rap starting to rise, okay? Because I know, you were working with Frost.
Right.
Bash. Not saying they're considered Chicano rappers.
Right.
Chicanos doing rap, because there's a difference. What made you start going more towards that route? Like, what artists started coming your way to where you were like, okay, boom, where you just, because you open up a can, man, they all start coming, the rap, and then you just become the, how was it off of Corrupt and Roscoe, or was it
that helped? Frost? I think that helped, but I think working with Mr. Shadow, really got a lot of people's attention.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Shadow,
Shout
worked with him early on, and I did a big record with him called Haters that was, I think, really dope. One of my favorite records from early on.
I saw it the other day. I clowned him yesterday. I go, Shadow. I use a little Flacco, whatever, little skinny dude with a little pager. I go, shout out to the pager, homie. He was one of these baggy, I don't know if they were baggy solo jeans, but he was the skinny Shadow, man. We were all skinny back then, but his little red Mexican flag, whatever. I go, he goes, yeah, that go, because I hit him up. I go, what was one of your biggest songs that Fingers? He goes, I would say Haters.
Yeah. I knew you'd say that one too. We both just like that. There was something magic about that record when we made it. So I think we'll always call that one out for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm trying to think. Maybe Low Profile. When I started working with them, it started, Seldom Seen,
Shout
Night
out to
Owl,
Paris, man, right there.
Night Owl. And I think around that time, maybe I started working with Capone too.
Also, you did tracks with Night Owl too, as well.
I feel like Seldom was sawed off, so I was around Night Owl. I'm trying to think. He was jumping on Seldom records, but I don't think I did a record for Night Owl.
Okay. Because I know Seldom rapped on one of my songs for the Shut Show album.
Yeah, because I was working with him
Daddy.
heavy. Yeah, I was working with Seldom a lot, who's very talented.
You were probably
rapper.
the connect for that then.
I probably was.
Yeah, okay. Because that's the first time
because he was around the studio a lot, and we were doing a lot of work. And
he was dope too.
Very dope, very dope. And but I think when the real catalyst for like Chicano rap, you have to always kind of call out that Pocos Para Locos, when it started playing on Power.
That's right.
On the Sundays, and it started realizing like every third song or something was like my production, and it started getting
How was that
crazy.
feeling though, bro? When
it
just
was
knowing
shocking.
That.
It was shocking, and I was happy because I'm like, I can't believe all this music I'm making is on the radio, and whether it's just for that program or not,
right.
It's still radio,
Special
and it was ears were hearing it, and so it started making me think like, this is there's a thing happening right here. So, I started really digging in and trying to elevate the music, for if I'm thinking if this is going to be on the radio, then I got to show my best production and best mixing and everything.
Right.
And you know, that kind of made it more serious of a thing. And then more and more people were hitting me up for that sound, you know, that something like a Superman. That when Brown Boy had that Superman record, they want that. You know,
they
with the auto-tune.
specifically come and ask you, hey, we want a Superman track?
I've had, well, mostly people ask, I want the Summer Nights sound or something.
Okay.
That's the number one.
Now, Summer Nights, would you say that was your biggest hit
you know,
amongst the Chicano scene?
it's an interesting question. Because Summer Nights on the Billboard, on the media base spins, got more than, let's say, Lean Like a Cholo.
Okay.
But do more people, especially outside of the Chicano audience, know Lean Like a Cholo over Summer Nights? I don't know. Because so many
Lean Like
people.
a Cholo was big. I mean, it was playing that on Kiss FM. I mean, if you made it Kiss FM, you know, in L.A.,
Yeah,
that's the major pop station.
I know. It's crazy.
For Mexicans to be played on that, bro, like, you had to have a hit record. That was something, man.
So I don't know, because that crossed over into different lanes. Then I don't know which one is more notable.
I got you.
I do know that Summer Nights really, people still hit me up like that. They bang that record. You know, it's like, I think that one's really stood the test of time.
Yeah.
And you know, not to side note, but this is a perfect time that I'm actually starting an album. I haven't worked with Rob since 1218 Part 2.
Oh, here we go.
And I'm actually officially going to be doing an album with him. Not sure if it'll be a full album or EP. But yeah, we've toyed around and made a couple records on the low.
Let's go, man.
But the Summer Nights squad is going to be back in effect, and we'll be putting out some new music for you, me and Rob, that is going to be pretty fire.
Now, how long has it been since you and Rob connected on the studio?
Well, we messed around in my studio, I think it was a year ago, maybe a little more, when he was out in L.A. doing a show or something, and I just randomly, you know, just to play around, just for fun, as like artists, just to see what we could do in this new stage of where we're at.
Right.
And it was like nothing had ever changed. We just talked for hours and like picked up right where we left off, and it was a good vibe. So,
what's it like working with Little Rob in the studio? I mean, let's take it back to the Summer Nights joint.
I mean, I love working with Rob. He's very artistic. You know, he wants to take his time to write. He knows what he wants, you know. He knows his sound. Summer Nights actually happened because we had made about 10 or 12 records where he brought me a sample of an oldie, and I would chop it and try to flip it, because that's, you know, his sound.
Yeah,
he wants chopped up oldies and authentic stuff. But one day he was coming in, and I'd cooked up a beat that sounded like an oldie, you know, because Summer Nights DJs think that, what sample is that? And they're not. They're like samples I made to sound like a sampled oldie.
Yeah, it's original. You know, it's FINGAZZ, homie.
But it had a little tinge of pop to it, so it could cross over a little bit more with that hook. And then I added that 808 with that, you know, rumble in the trunk that you had to have. You know?
Right.
And so I thought, man, if I can get them to like this and just do something that would put one foot in, you know, pop radio or urban crossover radio, then this could really kill, because he'd already had some radio success. You know, he had, you know, some records that did pretty well.
Barely Getting By, I think,
Barely
was one of his
Neighborhood
songs.
Music.
Yeah. Neighborhood Music,
Yep. So I said, man, I think we could just push the envelope of where he can go. And when he showed up, I said, I don't know if you're going to like it, but give it a chance and see if we can, you know, try something on this.
Right.
And when I played it, he was kind of just digesting it, listening. And I was trying to explain. I said, yeah, this music just feels like, you know, the top down on like a summer night.
Yeah.
And I started just singing that melody. And
did you write the chorus? Because that's you singing on the chorus with him, right?
It is. It's both of us on the chorus. I wrote the chorus. And originally he wanted his uncle, who he brought with him, OG uncle, who was kind of an oldies singer. And he wanted him to do the hook. And he's the one in the background singing Summer Nights. And so I said, that is dope, but that's not the hook for nowadays. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so we need something poppier. And that's when I came up with the other summer days just sitting around, but when the sun goes down.
Hey.
And I said, but let's leave Unk.
You sound like that about on the record.
Sound like that about on the record. I said, let's leave Unk like as a sample in the background. You know what I mean? So he could still be on there because he sounds dope.
Right.
So we got to combine all those elements. And first time that Rob had actually right in the spot, wrote in the studio and finished the record. The whole record was done in like 2 hours.
Oh, so you were used to him. He would go home and just write his shit there, or what?
Yeah, we would make a beat together, and he would take it home on a CD. And then the next time he came up, he would drop raps, and we'd make another beat.
Yeah.
So he could spend like a week writing.
Sure, because you
know how it is.
I do know how it is. I mean, that's how I wrote the show. I'd go home and just write it in the luxury. Or sometimes it just doesn't come to you like in the studio spot. At that moment, and I won't force it.
Yep.
I'll go home and just knock it out that way. That's dope, man. I never knew that story about Lil Rob. I did hear though. I saw somewhere where the way he got played on radio was I think shout out to DeMizza, man. He had something to do with that, right, or something like that.
I'd like to think so because I ended up doing a Talkbox feature for DeMizza at a studio. I think it was out in Hollywood.
DeMizza used to be program director
Damien
for
Young.
Power 106 back in the day.
Yeah,
Damien Young.
Damien Young used to run the show.
He would get like remixes from Mariah Carey and all that shit.
Because he was a producer,
connected.
also.
Yeah.
So he had me come out and do some Talkbox, and after my session, he had a room full of people, big studio with the big SSL board. I said, hey, let me play you a couple joints that I've been producing. Sure, let's play them. And they had the CD player, and when you play stuff for people and you don't want to wear them out by playing 4 minutes of the song.
Right.
So I played like up to the first chorus, skip, and he's like, oh yeah, that's hard. I like that. Next. I played through 4 records or something like that, and then I played Summer Nights, and then I went and skipped it. And his head was down, and he got up. He's like, no, run that shit back. I said, well, all right, if you want to hear it again. Played it, bangs it, turns the speakers up, bangs it all the way through.
Yeah.
At the end, run that shit back one more time. Plays it again. I go out.
He loved
I go
it.
out in the hallway. I get on my phone and I call Rob's label president, and I said, I'm with DeMizza right now, and he's played this shit 3 times, and he's just breaking the speakers to it, and he's saying it's a hit. I go, you got to test this. You got to do something in radio.
Yeah.
And then they took over. They threw the dough down that radio costs.
It didn't even go straight to Pocos Better Locals, right?
They
went straight to
they
radio.
were testing it at like real rhythmic
Real radio
crossover stations, and then it just kind of spread. Yeah.
I remember because, I was doing radio at the time.
Yep.
And, I was always happy. One of us made it. Obviously, Lighter Shade, we did our thing. And I had our music
legends.
out.
Come on, man. Legends.
Little Rob, thank you. Little Rob, MC Magics of the world.
Yep.
They would come through NB Riders, man.
Yep.
Shout out to them, Baby Bash. I remember Bash with Sugar. And
Yep.
and I would just see how I get to play these fools because I worked with them in the past. And it's good to see everybody come up like that. And yeah, man, Rob.
Because it was far and few between that somebody would actually get like rotation radio.
It was tough.
As a Chicano record.
It still is. To be, Chicano rappers, like, we've come so far.
It's like the programmers are like, no, we're playing Latin. We got some J-Lo and we got some Enrique Iglesias.
Right,
we're
the pop
covered.
shit.
You guys are covered.
Yeah, we're good. Even the reggaeton phases.
We gave you Daddy Yankee and Pitbull. You guys are good. Shut up.
Was there a song that you didn't think was going to pop and it did?
Lean Like a Cholo.
No shit.
Straight
Talk
up.
about that real quick.
I mean, somebody had introduced us to Julie Pilot. We got to sit with her at Kiss FM.
Yeah.
And we just had a kind of a meeting, no promises. She just said, I'll take your CD and I'll listen to it. Just building a relationship, not asking for any favors, but because Kiss FM doesn't break records like that, you know. And
kind of still a little here, a little there.
Yeah.
It's pop. It's
pop.
It's
pop now.
Yeah,
we took it now, so it's pop. We dropped like about 10 songs on a CD tour, and she said, I'm driving up north. I'll play all these records as I'm driving, and I'll give you some feedback. We just want some program director feedback, which is valuable.
All right.
And I had records from like Diamonique and Lunch and Meech. If you remember, I had an artist named Big
Thicker
Meech.
Than a Snicker.
Yep. And so these are the artists that were like signed and I'm working directly with that I was excited about. Like these are smash singles, right? We'd thrown Lean Like a Cholo on there too. And it's, we thought it was good. We thought it was catchy, but did I think it was going to catch the ear of somebody like a Julie Pilot over the hits I thought we had on that CD? Not at all. I was blown away. I mean, she called.
Did Kiss FM in LA break that record?
From my understanding, they did, because Julie called us from the road saying that she had listened to it like 20 times and she wants to break it. That's the best record she had heard in a long time.
That's crazy. One person gets a hold of a record and
it's crazy. And I didn't expect that at all. I had no idea that was going to happen. Matter of fact, we made that record low key as after just joking around. Because it's a funny story, and this story will be told a million different ways. Kilo, down if you're listening, or anybody else that was around. But I remember the story. I was probably the only sober one, so I remember. I know the truth. And we were joking around because Down, aka Kilo, I'd been working with him for years, and he had features by Snoop Dogg and Sugar Free and everybody you can name from the West Coast. He had Nate Dogg, and nothing was really popping for him, And at that time, if you remember around 2007, it was the Atlanta movement, right? And it just took over LA radio.
Yeah.
Little John and all the 808 trunk Atlanta, lean with it,
Atlanta,
rock with it.
Even the Paul Walls, or was that a little earlier?
A little earlier, but then Atlanta, around this time, it was the lean with it, rock with it, shoulder lean.
Yeah, chain hang low, all that.
So we were having a conversation. He was mad because he's like, I've been trying radio. I have all these big features. Nothing is popping.
Those are my Club DV8 days, man. Boy, we used to get lit up. Did you ever come to DV8 in Hollywood?
That sounds familiar.
Okay, maybe not. You'd probably just.
I probably don't remember if I did.
Yeah, you get out much.
I was getting torn up every time I went to clubs back then.
But anyway.
Shout out to alcohol.
Yeah.
So we were joking around that, I was joking with him. I said, well, you got to do a dance record, man. And he's like, no, I'm a gangster. I don't fucking dance. I'm like, come on, fool. You do the elbows and you do that. And then because shoulder lean. And
so
lean
you're
with it,
trying to sell him on this idea.
The idea was, lean with it, rock with it, shoulder lean. I said, you need to do the cholo lean.
Oh, got you. Yeah, there were so many dances at
and it was called cholo lean. It's still called cholo lean in my computer.
The original song of Lean Like a Cholo is Cholo Lean.
The session is called Cholo Lean.
There you go.
Cholo
you heard it first
lean.
on the Blackout Podcast.
And we were joking like, Cholo Lean, Cholo Lean. We were joking that we need to make a dance record for a gangster. And then everybody said, yeah, do that. And I said, no, I'm just fucking around. I'm not gonna do that.
Right.
I didn't want to do it.
Right.
I thought it was just a joke.
Kind of parody-ish.
Well, it is a parody. It is a parody record. Anybody that listens to it knows that it's a parody record.
Okay.
That has even been parodied. But it's fun. It's supposed to be a fun record, right?
Right.
It's supposed to make you want to party and dance, and it does.
Shit, I still play that shit.
No, the beat bangs.
Yeah. Everybody gets up and then
So that was a shock, man. It was a shock because it wasn't made with an intention of making a big smash crossover record. It was just made because we were joking around.
Right.
And maybe because, and this happens to me all the time, sometimes the stuff you're not trying so hard to make a hit.
Yeah, absolutely.
You make the best stuff when you're not really trying that hard.
That's so true, man. It's the shit you think that's gonna pop that doesn't, and it's like happens to be a B-side record or something like
Real
that.
talk.
And and it is what it is. Let me ask you on the Talkbox. Very important to your career, obviously, and we've heard them on so many songs. Was there ever a point where, well, number one, have you ever stopped? Did you ever stop at one point and say, you know what, this sound is kind of not as trendy right now? I don't know if that's the word to say. Was there ever a point in hip hop where it wasn't, or has Talkbox always just been part of the hip hop, genre for years? You know what I mean?
I think Talkbox.
Like, did it ever go out? Style, I'm saying.
Other people might say it did, until like 24 Karat Magic, Bruno Mars. I feel like it did bring it back big, even though Daft Punk was using it and you heard it.
Right.
But it wasn't a lot of mainstream records using it, outside of like maybe some West Coast, like Battle Cat using it or Fred Wreck. But not big hit records weren't using it for a long time. I never stopped using it.
Right.
And I don't think it should ever stop being used in hip-hop because all hip-hop, early hip-hop, almost every hip-hop record had sampled some Roger and Zapp.
Right.
whether it was the Talkbox part or not, it was some bit of that music. You know what I mean? You could name hundreds of hip hop records that are using some beats of More Bounce to the Ounce.
You even go back in the 80s hip hop. I mean, you had the vocoder was big, and the vocoder is different than Talkbox, and vocoder is more of what Egyptian Lover used to do.
It's exactly
right?
what what he uses.
Egypt.
Yep. Exactly. That's that sound.
And there is a difference.
There is. You know, one sounds a little more like crisp and clear,
right?
And one sounds kind of like a
more
like a computer, more of a computer. But one is very hard to use, and one is very easy.
Jam on it. What was that? Vocoder
Jam
or
on
Talkbox?
is vocoder.
Vocoder.
Whereas More Bounce to the Ounce, you know, Computer Love, California Love, that's Roger on that. Those are Talkbox.
And then you had the auto-tune phase that came out, and that was when T-Pain had kind of did auto-tune's a program, isn't it?
It's a plugin, yeah.
It's a plugin which
Digital.
Was created off of a vocoder or off of a Talkbox?
Wasn't created to be any of that. It was actually created, the guy, if I understand correctly, the guy who made auto-tune, it was for some kind of research, scientific research, and that was some side effect of it. And then when somebody realized, I think whoever produced that Cher record, Do You Believe in Love? Somebody realized you could turn the speed.
Remember that shit had that in there?
That was the
What's
first.
up, Tortanero? All of a sudden you're talking? You got a mic now?
Yeah, because I plugged it in because I was just saying because of this man I met my girl because I played Summer Nights. I was DJing.
All right.
All of a sudden,
I played,
3 topics later.
No, I had to let him talk. But, you know.
Nah, this guy didn't have a mic until now.
Yeah. Because I thought about it, you know, and I was like, oh, shit, because of Summer Nights, that's how I met my girl now.
His lady texted him, fool. He was like, hey, you better get a mic. I don't hear you. You better talk about our story right
She's
now.
like, you're not there. What the fuck? Nah, but yeah, dude, because of Summer Nights is the reason why I met my girl. She came up to me and she was like, what's up?
That's amazing. I love hearing that. I love hearing that.
Shout out to FINGAZZ.
Shout out to your wife. You have good taste.
We're not married yet, but fuck, man. I have to marry her now because after this weekend, she was like, shit, so.
Yeah. She was like this. What's this?
She needs a ring. She needs a ring.
I thought she was in your ass or something.
Nah. But yeah, because of that, Summer Nights is the reason why we're together. So
good
Beautiful.
shit.
Yeah.
You didn't play Talkbox on Summer Nights. There was none of that.
No Talkbox on there. Light auto-tune on there, but we didn't heavy auto-tune it. You know.
So you're okay with using the auto-tune then?
Well,
yourself?
you know, if we're gonna talk about auto-tune, I will put this out in the world.
All right.
I was doing a hook for a Capone record called Struggle, I think it was. This is an early Capone album. I don't remember which one. Maybe 2003 or 4. And I was putting a hook down where we were going to get a singer to sing it. And I wasn't comfortable at hitting all the notes, right? I had the auto-tune plug-in.
This is for who? I'm sorry.
Capone.
Got it.
And I had the auto-tune plug-in for years. I had the old floppies. I still got them.
Yeah.
From when I heard the Cher record, I hunted down what that was. So I had been using it, but not like the auto-tune sound yet, like the T-Pain.
Right.
So I put the hard auto-tune on my voice because it was so out of tune and fucked up, and I didn't want to show anybody with my rough hook on there.
Right.
But Capone showed people, and supposedly everybody loved the way it sounded with the hard T-Pain auto-tune sound on it. And he asked me to keep my voice on there with the auto-tune tweaked. I didn't want to because I thought it sounded horrible because it wasn't popularized by T-Pain.
Okay.
So he gets credit for making it a thing. But so I had actually used it on that, and then a year later, Brown Boy asked me to sing with that same effect from the Capone Struggle record, and we did the Superman hook. T-Pain's stuff, I'm Sprung, came out a year later than
First
that.
single, yep.
So I was kind of doing
So
that.
he was already
I didn't
doing
want to. I was reluctantly doing it. You know what I'm saying?
So Superman had auto-tune on it too, as well.
Yep.
And that was before I'm Sprung? Or
It was
no?
about a year before, yeah.
No shit.
And that was on the radio. Remember, Superman was getting some love at radio.
Yeah. Shout outs to Brown Boy. He
Brown
was doing
Boy.
that. Man, so yeah, because I know you sing on a few, and a lot of people don't know that, like the summer, or maybe you do, you don't, but the Summer Nights record, the Superman.
Yep.
What other
Summertime
major-
Anthem, Mr. Capone.
Yes.
That's my voice with auto-tune. I sing a lot now. Like, I usually sing. If I'm not doing Talkbox, I'm usually singing on
Are you
hooks.
writing all the hooks?
Yes.
Hey, come on, man. You know where that percentage is going to?
And
get them checks, homie.
some of them raps too.
Some of them. Oh, we dropping names? Are we dropping names? What? You writing raps? Wait, why are you looking at me like that?
No comment.
Did you write me a rap?
I didn't.
You go.
Nah, I can't write a rap for you, man.
Oh man. No.
Yeah, man. I love writing. I mean, I'll write hooks for, you know.
Well, that's what a producer does, so to speak.
Not all. I mean, not all. But I mean, I look up to like a Pharrell. You know what I mean? Pharrell does the writing, and he'll do the beat, and you know, really guide the whole record.
Yeah.
I look up and I aspire. I'd like to say to be like do what as good as Pharrell does that stuff.
Pharrell, everybody will
shout out to Pharrell. I know you're watching.
Yeah, man.
Dope. I saw an interview on Pharrell.
He's so dope,
he
man.
explained, he's like, I love directing my artists because
absolutely
at the end of the day, it's his name on the track. So
exactly,
he just wants it to be
perfect. The same theory, man. I mean, if you're a producer, don't just make the beat. You know, I wanted to be a producer because I realized Quincy Jones produced the Thriller album. You know what I mean? I started reading the credits, and I realized, what is a producer really doing? This guy's directing everything. He may not play the guitar, he may not be singing Michael's part, but he's gonna guide to make the best performance out of Michael or the best mix at the final product. You know
who's like that? Michael was like that too. I saw a documentary, one of many, but Michael on his last tour, he really had hands on what was as far as choreographing everything on stage, and he was telling the band guy and the drummer no, we'll do it like this, and the disc dancer, no, I need you to do this, and like just
because he learned that from the Berry Gordy's and the Quincy Jones that were like that, hands on, creating the product that they wanted. Right. So when he got to steer his own ship completely, he's like,
was that before artists lost their creativity control? Would you say? From these labels? Well, I can't even say. It's not even fair to say. That's a different conversation. But because sometimes these labels, man, they just take away everything. Like I just know in terms of what songs you want to put out.
I think artists allow their creative control to be taken because they want to be put on and they want to be in the big machines. The ones that fight for their creativity, they still do what they want to do.
Right. What are your thoughts on artists right now? If you could say anything to up and coming artists in terms of the business side of things of this game, getting into the business, learning the business, and because you're dealing with a lot of cats, attorneys, accountants.
I'll be honest with you.
Some fools will be quick to sign in the first day and just be like, just to be put on. Those days are over.
I don't have much to say to artists. I try to stay on the creative side of developing an artist, so I could give somebody advice on how to improve their artistry.
Yeah.
I could say, if anything, that, try to stay independent and do it all yourself if you can. Look at what Bad Bunny's doing. I mean, this guy's putting the industry on his ass by being such a successful independent artist. It's tough nowadays because it's with social media and the ease of distribution for music. There's so much music out there. How do you get above and float to the top of all that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I see a lot of labels, cats that are artists themselves,
right,
who go and get distribution deals, and then they'll sign. Okay, the labels fund them a gang of money.
Yep.
And I mean, I'm sure this is the way it's been for years. And they'll go grab themselves 8 artists, 9 artists, create a whole label out of them, and they'll just kind of sign them to them. That's what. Are you saying it's probably you should just do it on your own and like research yourself on how to become your own entity?
It depends. Like, here's the thing I've noticed: there are artists that are hustlers also, and there's artists that are so in their creative mind that they just can't or won't hustle for themselves. In that case, if you don't have that hustling mindset, then you go get somebody that can hustle for you and sign up to them, and just realize that they're going to make their fair money, or more than their fair money if you're not smart. But if you're a hustler and you're the creative artist, try to do it yourself, so you can keep it to yourself because, 100% of a lower amount of money might be more than 5% of a big amount of money. You feel me?
Right.
So it just depends on what you have it in you, like, to hustle.
There you go.
You know?
You're absolutely right about that, man. There's people that just have strictly talent, but they're just sitting on their couch with it. It's like, man, you better get up and do something or find somebody that can get you to that point, correct?
Yeah. And it's common. When people are creative-minded, the hustle part of it, it's sometimes uncomfortable or they don't have it in them. And it's hard to market yourself as an artist. You know what I mean? You're an artist. You know it's hard to go and sell yourself, right?
There's so many hats, though, too. But the resources are more accessible nowadays, also.
I think social media makes it easier for you to market yourself. And people really want to see you just be yourself, living your life. And if you have good music, that's all it really takes. You know, you don't need to fake it or be on, front some kind of fake superstar life on social media. People like the real life shit.
Right.
And if it matches your music, they fuck with it.
Yeah. I think it goes back to like the marketing too, right? Like
exactly
like how you post on your social media.
Yeah.
People are all about right now. Like we're in a generation, if they see something that looks dope, automatically they fuck with it, and then it's like.
And it's genuine, not just dope, but genuine and dope. Like they like real people. I feel like will latch on to something that feels real, but it's good,
genuine. Yeah,
you know.
Let's talk about the Talkstar, man, because this is something that you hold here dear to your heart. It took forever, from what I understand, in the making, years to finally get it out there.
It did.
And let's go back from ground zero where it started. I think, did you start it off with your dad? You guys built this together, right?
Absolutely. Not at first. The idea didn't start with my dad, but the idea was I was playing. Touring in like overseas in Japan, and I'd have to bring a giant amp rack and my Talkbox and keyboard and wire it all up to do these tours I was doing overseas. Well, it was just a pain in the ass. And I envisioned.
Hold that. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Are we on Wi-Fi?
Yeah, why?
Or the Ethernet?
The Ethernet.
You turned the Wi-Fi off?
Yeah.
Okay, because maybe it's mine glitching on my side. Everybody in the super chat, sorry, I'm seeing a glitch on my iPad. Maybe my iPad's glitching. I don't know.
Did someone leave the office on that end, maybe? Or
I don't know. Nobody would have touched that.
Okay.
We're good. Let us know in the comments if it's glitching, because they'll be the first to let us know. Yeah, it says right here, is it my connection or is it free? It is glitching.
Yeah, even on my end, it's not working either.
Okay, all right, continue. It's all good. It's all good. Go ahead, man.
No, and I envisioned if there could be a portable Talkbox that was loud enough to use for like a live performance, because at the time I believe there was one out called a Banshee. It was more of a guitar pedal.
Was that one of like
no, there wasn't a lot. There was the only one.
Banshee.
It was a guitar pedal that I had tried it out, and it was just couldn't get loud enough. It wasn't made for a keyboard to do the Roger and Zapp sound, and it just would overload the thing, and it would distort, and it just never would be loud enough for my live shows. So I thought about, how can I make one for myself for my use? And very thankfully, my dad is an audio engineer who was one of the first pioneers of hi-fi car audio. So he was designing amplifiers for car stereos.
He was designing them. All right.
You heard of Rockford Fosgate?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Well, Bob Fosgate and my dad were the competitors of hi-fi car audio. His company was called Audio Mobile.
Okay.
And they used to take and convert home stereo gear to 12 volt to run in the car and wire speakers into the dash and all that. Nobody was doing that before them.
Wow.
So because he knew how to build amplifiers from scratch, I'm thinking, what is a Talkbox? It's a speaker with a tube coming out and an amplifier. That's all there really is to it. And so I asked him, I said, can we do this? Can you build me an amp and we'll find the right speaker, and I know what it should sound like, so I just feed you the info I know, and you go and engineer it. And so, we designed that whole thing together, and it was pretty cool to do with my pops.
How many years did it take to build the Talkstar?
It started in 2008 and maybe even 2007.
And when did you release it?
No, 2008 is when we started the concept. It was released in 2018.
10 years later.
10 years later.
Now, was this because of just, getting parts, I think I heard somewhere, or were you just so busy in the studio, you just kind of got to it when it wasn't really a priority?
Kind of both. It went in stages. At first, I was trying to build a keytar that was a portable with the synthesizer built in. And I have one prototype. It's over there. I'll show everybody later.
Okay.
So the Talkbox and the keyboard and everything would be portable with a strap, and you could run around the stage with a wireless mic. and be fully portable like a rock star. That's why it was called Talkstar. And
Hell yeah.
what I couldn't make
Talkstar.
happen, we made the amp, we got the dope speaker made, and we had this lighting where it would flash when you play the keys. What I couldn't get was a synthesizer. We couldn't make the synthesizer in there, and I couldn't get any of the companies. I tried to get Yamaha and Novation. I couldn't get any of them to like partner to build it into our product. So we gave up, and we decided we would just make the Talkbox sonically, make a portable Talkbox that just smoked every other one out there. And that's what we did.
And from what I understand, the cat, you mentioned him earlier, the dude who sang on Bruno Mars's 24 Karat Magic, didn't he test it out? A couple of Talkboxers tested him?
He did. When we first finished 10 like prototype units, I said, okay, now I need to really test this with a real player. And this is around the time, 24 Karat Magic had just won Grammys and all that. So I reached out to his name. His name is Byron, Mr. Talkbox Chambers.
What up, Chambers?
Byron is an incredible, to me, the best Talkbox player out there right now. And we didn't really know each other, but we knew about each other. So I made him an offer. Can I come out to Nashville, where he's from, and do a demo of you trying the very first Talkstar? Bring cameras. I want the real deal reactions, whatnot. And we filmed a video, went out there, rented a dope big studio, and we filmed a video called The Test, where he really just tried it for the first time.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
He went crazy.
And he was just like, his real reaction was just caught off
film. If you
film.
see that video called The Test, the Talkstar, The Test, you'll see his reaction is real, and he's geeking out. And he's coming from using the little MXR, which is another guitar pedal version.
Okay.
So that's what he was kind of using, and knowing the real difference when he tried the Talkstar. Just like one time he turned the volume up, and it like almost blew his head off. He says it's just so much louder and cleaner, and so I knew I had something dope.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, well, maybe we'll really try to throw this out there. Maybe we'll sell a few of them, right? And now here we are in 2023. We've sold in over 50 countries. People all over the world using them.
Fingers, man, on the Talkstar.
To the Talkstar family. Shout out to the Talkstar family.
Can you keep these things in stock, or is it like...
It's hard, man. It's hard.
Is each one custom made, or are you manufactured, or is that too many questions?
No. That's the perfect questions. They're made in the USA right here. Matter of fact, in this studio, the factory where we assemble them is right here.
Okay.
Through that door. And we have sub-assemblies made all through California. And shout out to my boy Rob, Hall of Fortune. He helps me when I'm too busy throw these things together and ship them out and everything. And it's a small operation, but we're trying to keep up and get them going, man. We got some heavy hitters using them too. DJ Battlecat.
I was going to ask you, who's Battlecat's using
DJ
them?
Battlecat, Fred Reck, Just Blaze.
What up, Fred? Damn.
Just Blaze, Teddy Riley.
I did see a video of Teddy Riley actually trying, and his reaction was like, yo, and I mean, that had to make you feel like
it's crazy
when you heard that, bro.
I showed Teddy Riley in 2010 the prototype of the Keytar version of Talkstar. I was the first one to show him.
Maybe that's what I saw.
No. I didn't film that.
Okay.
But he was in a studio here in Burbank, and I went and somebody knew him and brought me over there to show him. And he hasn't stopped asking me to this day, where is my Keytar? Because I said I would make up one of the ones like I had. I said, man, I can't get it done. I got this one. That's all I got.
Man.
And the video you saw was him trying out. He pulled his tour bus in front of my place in NoHo, North Hollywood. He drove his giant tour bus with a studio built in it. And I went and did a demo of the Talkstar in his tour bus. That's the video you saw.
That's so awesome, man. Just a legend right there, man. Shout out to Teddy Riley, man.
Oh, my God.
Best to ever do that whole New Jack Swing movement,
Yeah, man.
No
diggity.
No doubt.
Yep.
Out of the people who play Talkbox, obviously, now it's like, seems like everybody has learned it. Would you say that's because of this generation, because of YouTube? Academy, YouTube, learning how to Talkbox.
YouTube and social media are a big factor because there's a lot of people that are doing it on. So especially there's young kids, man. Shout out like Justin Lee Schultz. Justin Lee Schultz. It's this 12-year-old like phenom keyboard player, and he was playing Talkbox at like 8 years old or 9 years old or something. Wow. And his videos are going viral. And when you see, there's a lot of young kids getting into it, bringing it back to life.
Yeah.
And luckily, we've got a lot of them playing Talkstar, and and showing younger kids how cool Talkbox is.
Have you ever thought? Well, don't you have tutorials on the Talkstar?
We do.
So you can.
There really
show
isn't
them
there really isn't a course, like a full course to teach Talkbox. There's a couple YouTube channels where they do a pretty good start and little bits and pieces. So we put together the Talkbox Masterclass, and that's on our website. When you buy a Talkbox, you get the course free. And I'm training basically with my 30 years of playing the thing. I'm giving you all the head start tips and tricks and patches for the synth and everything, and that's on there too.
It's amazing how far the Talkbox has actually come. I mean, like you said, with youth. We were on a podcast the other day. I forgot who we were interviewing a couple weeks back, and this cat called up from Kansas City, Missouri or something, and he was a homie. He was like, "Hey, what's up, homie? Hey, this and that. I play Talkbox." And Money Moons was like, put him on the spot. "Let me hear you, man." And he was like, I mean, he just sounded legit. I was like,
man.
shit. And then the homie slid him a track, and then the next day he had it already with his vocals on there.
Sick.
Money Moon had that. I'm like, fucking technology, how far we've come since then, bro.
I wish there was YouTube when I was learning Talkbox, man.
Damn.
It's hard to do, and there wasn't no YouTube, and there wasn't a lot of people around playing it.
That's what I'm saying. Now it's just like it's too easy.
You can learn anything, man. If I wanted to learn how to run this podcast gear,
right?
Like in an hour, probably I could just find it on YouTube, and I'd get at least started.
We did. God did.
But I mean, anything, right? I'm editing.
But you can't teach. Well, they would say in radio, you can't teach personality. You know what I'm saying?
No,
it's like it's not what you have. It's
what you do with
engineering. It's what you do with it, and that goes with anything, right? Mixing boards, keyboards.
Yeah. And that's why I don't think
that's
people
what you do
should,
with my Triton.
Exactly. And that's why I think people shouldn't hide their game or not teach younger people who are coming up to any of the trade secrets, because it's they're not going to do what you do. They're going to take it and do their own thing with it.
Right. Hey, I think at this time, man, Fingers, we got Fingers in the motherfucking building. Come on, Fingadelic. I'm not used to calling you Fingers, but we'll talk about Fingadelic, but we'll talk about it right now. We're going to throw the number on the screen if anybody wants to tap in right now. We're going to take some calls right now. We got some fans in the super chat. They want to talk to you. Shout outs to Alanis, your baby girl in there. What's up, Alanis?
What's up, baby?
Where you at, baby girl? Hey, air hug.
She's on gimp mode right now. She got a little leg injury, but she's at the crib healing up and
get better. That's right. Come in, go get checked, girl. Get the blood. Hey, I had that gout. I told her it was gout.
It's not that.
You got to be in the 40 over club to get that. I don't know, but hey, that shit hurts. So that's all I know. Most people get it in their feet, but we won't talk about shit right now. Let's talk about music. Shout outs to everybody in the super chat. Antonio, I see you. What up, Derek Mallory, man? Just giving up some diehard, just to let y'all know we live. You know what I mean? DG's up there.
So far too, for the issues, it's the lag. The audio and everything sounds good. So it
good
could
as long as the audio sounds good. I'm cool for that.
Yeah, we're straight, dude.
And your Wi-Fi is off, right?
It's off, and I'm plugged in all the way over there. I checked over there. We're fine. So I think it's just I don't know. It could be the internet connection or something, but audio's fine. Yeah, audio's fine.
We're good. Thank you guys for listening. Let's go to the phone lines, man. We're going to go to Arizona right now. You're on with Fingers.
Yeah.
Ooh, hello. Yo, what up, man?
What's up, man? When are you going to start doing more songs with Chicano rappers? Bring back to life, man. They need to see the light again.
I never stopped.
Did you stop?
I never stopped. I mean, I'm still working with Down.
The Criminals, they all disappeared. Once they were FINGAZZ, they had hit singles and everything. We need to bring them back to Criminals.
Yeah, man.
I can answer that, but go ahead.
I'm working with Little Rob starting next month. We're doing a new project together. Still working with Malo Mac. Me and Mr. Criminal have done records. Just last year, we did a record.
Not only that, I think Criminal kind of just went. I mean, a lot of rappers don't stay with the same producer. I mean, they venture off. I think Criminal's working with Critical.
Yeah, he's got Critical.
Critical used to be with FINGAZZ, right?
Yeah, that was
with FINGAZZ. So
you're absolutely right. Yeah,
I kind of.
Yep. You're right, man. You know your stuff.
We're getting back.
Man, I've been hearing your music for a long time, man. I know your history. I know everything about you. I'm a big fan.
That's dope. I appreciate you, man.
All the music, all the rappers. When it comes to Mr. Shadow, Night.
Dang, he been following you. ¿Cómo se llama, bro? What's your name?
Edgar, man, from Arizona.
Dope, man. Thanks, Edgar. I appreciate you, tuning in and digging all the music. We got more coming.
And we need to get in more Talkbox albums too, like Talkbox and stuff.
So I'm glad you brought that up, Edgar, because I'm at the end of this month I should be releasing my Talkbox Classics 4, where I'm redoing oldies.
Those are my favorite.
With Talkbox.
I was just listening to Connected, driving my daughter to soccer, man. Best track
dope.
ever.
Oh, thanks, man. That's Connected from my 7 Days album, my original stuff. Thank you, bro. I'm glad you like it.
Diehard fan right there,
dope.
Man.
But, with ODM and then Malo Mac albums, man. See, he didn't left Fingers at all, so he's been doing albums with.
Yeah, we just worked on a song together with Malo Mac.
Yep. The old school
cruise.
The old school cruise.
Yeah.
Dope record. You killed that.
Gracias, bro.
Hey, man.
Yeah, well, nothing's changed.
You guys are dope. Keep doing what you do. Never stop, man. You're one of the best in the rapping.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for tapping in, bro.
Gracias, Edgar. Have a good night, man. Thanks for listening, okay? All right. We got the phone lines up. You want to hit it? I don't know if hopefully that's not every call that glitches like that. It could be my line too as well.
It could have been his or something. Is your Wi-Fi off on your phone?
I just turned it off right now.
It could have been on his end.
So hit us up right there. You want to talk to Fingers? You got some questions, anything, technical, history, who he's worked with. I mean, this man has got, like I said, a discography of just, everywhere from Dolly Girl, Capone, Corrupt, Lighter Shade of Brown. That's just within, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, there's too many to name. I was going through it. I was like, damn.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
And people you wouldn't even think. You've also worked, let's talk about, you're getting into some of the K-pop now, right? Let's talk about that.
Since about 2011.
Well, let's go back to that.
I got involved in K-pop, and it's kind of becoming, a movement here a little bit with the success of like BTS. Most people probably heard of them.
Yeah.
But over in that market, like in the Asian market, K-pop is massive. Right. Just huge. And so, I started working on some records. I did one in 2011 with Wonder Girls called Be My Baby. That was a big hit. And then little by little through the years, I started like meeting people and getting in, and it just started finding me more and more. And then fast forward to right now, the last few years, I've been in a studio with my partner Francis, who's Korean, and we met in Korea at a writing camp at the biggest label called SM Entertainment, and we vibed. And I don't really collaborate with a lot of producers, but he was so dope. He writes, he produces, so do I, and we just our styles clicked, kind of like the Neptunes, Chad and Pharrell,
Right.
And so we just ended up working out of the same studio. We're pumping out K-pop records now. We actually had the biggest K-pop record of the year last year.
Which was?
It's called Glitch Mode.
Okay.
From NCT Dream. And
sounds like our internet line right now. Go ahead.
Glitch Mode. Yep. Dang. But so yeah.
That's dope. That's okay. Here's what I'm like mesmerized about the fact that I already know this because you got it in you, bro. Just your talent is crazy. But what do you say to people that like homie was on the phone right now? Hey, homie, you gotta come back and do Chicano rap, and it was like they put you in this box and expect you not to, go elsewhere. No, what do you say to that?
I've never been in that box. Like anybody that really knows me knows I was doing like hip hop while I was doing rock. While I was doing, Chicano rap, but then I was also doing real, regional Mexican
You were doing
music.
the rock stuff, right?
I was doing a little bit everything.
Right there on the wall, there's something, they can't see it, but what is that, LA Latin? And you got featured in that?
Well, that was from doing Prima J. I was working with Prima J.
I remember that artist. Okay.
Yeah. But I've always been like doing pop and just everything, almost everything. Fast forward and now, like right now, I'm producing a huge country artist named Jesta James. So I'm doing country, I'm doing the K-pop stuff, I'm doing music in China, I'm doing film scoring, and I'm doing Chicano rap. So I want to do it all.
There's no boundaries, man. And you shouldn't set boundaries as a producer as well. And it's crazy because unless you're checking for, if you're a fan of Fingers and you're a fan of the Chicano side, like you have to go really research this man's work out. It's just not just Chicano rap, you know what I'm saying? Although, hats off to you, dude. You've been a really big part of that, man, and I think that's why people are just embracing you, bro, and that's so dope, man.
I mean,
real dope.
Absolutely, it's definitely part of my identity and my journey. And I'm very, very proud of it, of the successes and even the great records that maybe weren't big radio hits, but they're still important to me. You know what I mean? And maybe they didn't cross over as much or get the love on the radio.
What are some of your favorite songs that didn't either they made radio or they didn't? Like what sticks in your head? Like, man, I worked with this artist and this song was fucking like one of my favorite bangers.
Oh man,
I know it's hard to say because your discography. It's like one of those like when you ask like us, what's my favorite song? Lighter Shade of Brown song. It's hard to choose, but I could narrow down a couple.
You put me on the spot, man. Should have done some research. I
don't want to show favoritism.
No, it's not even that. Like I would say. I mean, I will say honestly that because of the memory of how the record unfolded. I mean, even though it's one everybody knows, Summer Nights is a record that not only became a hit but was ingrained in my head because there was like a certain like different energy and like a magic when that record happened.
Yeah.
Which I think it takes to make a hit record. Like there has to be some other outside force happening,
right? Right.
And because there's been so many records I thought were hits, but they didn't happen, and that magic feeling didn't happen.
I've heard you use that word before, the magical, in that particular song.
It was definitely magical, and I would say there's been other records that I felt that magic feeling. Like I Love Counting the Summertime had that magic feeling. Wasn't with the artist there, but was when I made it and then put the Talkbox on it. I felt confident enough to ask Corrupt to put, ask Snoop to rap on it.
Ask Snoop to.
So I felt like some kind of magic was in that record. And there's been a bunch. I can't. My brain's not working.
No, I get it, bro.
To go through that Rolodex.
Too many, man.
Fingadelic,
man. Oh, there it is. Wanted to ask you that question.
Yep.
Because now I'm starting to say Fingadelic because I'm seeing it right in front of me. I call you as Fingers. I know you as Fingers. Was there a name change? I see a little bit of Fingadelic, but is it, how did that come about? From Fingers to Fingadelic?
Well, Fingadelic, I think Roscoe, Corrupt's little brother, started calling me Fingadelic. Or maybe Corrupt even called me that first.
Could we just call you Phalanges?
Well, you were the one. That's your name for me. You and I think maybe Bad. You came up with that.
Phalanges. Yeah, I think he did.
Phalanges.
Phalanges.
And it's funny. I didn't even know what phalanges were when he called me that. And then somebody told me, oh, yeah, that's the medical term for fingers. I'm like, oh, dumbass. Go to school, dummy.
I didn't know either. It sounded like Fingers, so I went with it.
Yeah, but, Fingadelic started from Roscoe and Corrupt. And then when I couldn't get social media popped up, right? And web domains and all that shit. And Fingazz.com was taken.
Because there's another Fingers, DJ Fingers in San Diego, if I'm not mistaken.
But I don't think he used Fingazz alone. He would always use DJ Fingazz.
Okay.
But Fingazz was already gone when I tried to get on social media. So I had to start using Fingadelic.
Yeah.
And then eventually my label was called that. And it just became the identity for my website and everything. So.
Right. That's dope, man. We got the callers, man. Hit us up right now. You want to talk to Fingers in a little bit. By the way, we're in the studio, so we got to bless you. He's going to bless you and us here. We get to see it live.
Oh, I thought you were going to freestyle.
But so do you.
Oh, shit.
I don't know, man. If I'm feeling the beat, but if it's a Fingers beat, I got to be feeling it, man. So Fingers going to get on this Talkbox, man. We're going to do that in just a little bit. If you want to call us up, hit us up right now. Shout out to everybody in the Super Chat. I know we had a couple of going to these super stickers that were purchased earlier, man. Shout outs to you guys. I wish I knew how to get to those because we like to, take care of them. Let's see here. Oh, I'm not even on the Blackout Podcast YouTube. Anyway, appreciate you guys for the donations. So where do we go from here, Fingers? What's in 2023? I know you're working on the new Little Rob project.
Yup.
And what else can we expect right now?
Well, I'm going to keep putting out my Talkbox music. I've gotten a lot of requests for another Classics album. I put out Classics 3 in 2016, 16.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of requests of people asking for another classics.
Which is the Get It Up one? What was on? Was that on 2?
Get Up was on 2.
I was banging that last night on Twitch, man. I was like, man, because I did a whole little medley of all your songs last night.
Dope.
And I was like, man, I need some up tempo, and then I saw the that song right there. I think I played that one, and there was another one on there that was up tempo. It was Get It Up, and I can't remember. It was like 117 BPM or something like that. Yeah. But it was all up tempo, man. So it all went with the whole blend. Hang on one second. We'll take a call. We got somebody right here from OC. Hey, what's up? OC. You're on the Blockout Podcast with FINGAZZ. Fingadelic. Oh,
what up?
Hold on. Let me switch over. Okay, there you go. Hello?
But, hello.
What's up?
Hey, so my question is, there's somebody that he has yet to work with that he feels like he's missed out on.
Okay, what's the question?
I get it.
That's my question.
I get the question. She's asking what artists that have I not worked with that I feel like I'm missing out on.
Oh, that's a good question. I'm sorry, I missed that. Okay.
I mean, I'd love to work with somebody like Rihanna. You know, I think I would. I have actually pitched many records to Rihanna. I've been out here pitching records to all these big artists.
There you go.
And it's very political, but I'd love to work with somebody like that. You know, and you know, I said earlier too. I love what Pharrell does so much and he does rap and sing. So I would love to collaborate with Pharrell in any way. You know, whether it was just production or whether he's rapping on something, and I got to actually produce somebody I looked up to.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty dope. Like, that's something I could, like, bucket list.
When you say it's political, like, in terms of Rihanna, what do you mean? Like, trying to get to the red tape? Or?
Getting into the kind of clubs where they take records, you have to be signed to certain management and publishing companies and get in the writing rooms that are a lot more political. And I don't really... I tried a little bit when I moved out to LA to play that game.
Yeah.
And I don't like it really. I just kind of like doing my own thing.
Yeah.
And
word of mouth.
Kind of don't want to deal with, like, I manage myself. I just do everything myself after, certain things I just learned. I want to kind of have control of what I'm doing. Learn the
game, right.
And learn the game myself. So I run my publishing game and all that stuff. So I don't want to get into the politics too deep.
Yeah.
But, and it's tough. And there's a lot of really good people pitching records to those A-list artists all the time.
All right.
You know what I mean?
There it is. We appreciate your call. What's your name, sweetheart?
It's Queen Rowe.
Queen Rowe. What's up, Queen Rowe? Is this Vettel?
What's up, love? Hey, I do have another question, if you don't mind.
Shoot it.
Go for it.
All right. So when it comes to, like, Latino rap artists, is there somebody that you think that doesn't get enough recognition, or like Latino rap that should get more recognition than it does?
It's a good question. Well, it depends. Like, if you're talking about recognition from real fans or from, like, the mainstream, what do you mean?
Mainstream.
Most of them. ODM.
What?
No, that's my answer.
Oh, I'm like, this is a super chat, man.
He's like, what I do?
No, man. I mean, Lighter Shade was legendary. I think they had their hits, and they could have, if been out in an later era, they probably would have gotten much bigger.
Yeah. There was some politics in there too,
yeah,
but
man,
we won't get into that.
You guys
shit.
were like the breaking ground, like, when there wasn't Latin rappers on the radio.
Yeah, and I think that had a lot to do with it because we were starting to wave, and it's true. It's proof. Like, at least with our record labels, they didn't know how to handle us. No. They didn't know how to market us.
No, they still really don't.
We were signed to, thankfully we had our management, but like when we were first signed to our label, Quality Records, our first 3 albums, which was our bangers, once we got, left them and we got signed with Mercury on the East Coast, they didn't even know Lowrider Magazine was. And I was like, man, are you serious? Like, who do you think's been buying our shit?
And to be honest, like, still to this day, a major label wouldn't know what to do with a real, Chicano artist. They would know what to do with like a reggaeton or a Pitbull or Selena Gomez, but they wouldn't know what to do to market that at all. And that's too bad. But I don't know. I think there's too many artists, especially ones that I'm working with. I don't want to leave anybody out, so I'm not going to put too many names out there.
There you go, Vero.
Hey.
Appreciate you, Mama. We're gonna take you too.
Thanks, Queen Row.
Take care. All right, let's take another one. Going over to Escondido. Hello, who's this?
That's the homie Kiki from the city of Escondido.
Kiki, what's up? You're on with Fingers, man. Blackout Podcast.
What up?
What's up, ODM? What's up to the fucking Blackout crew and shit? Fingadelic in the motherfucking house.
Hey.
Yeah, what up, man?
I'm a big fan, homie. I got a couple questions. What do you consider was your best song working while you were working with Low Pro?
Oh wow, I did so many songs with Low Pro. It's kind of hard for me to remember.
Did you do albums, like multiple?
I feel like I did whole Sancho albums, Bandit albums. Obviously the Miss Sancha stuff.
Okay.
Did all of those. So
what was the question? The question was what's
like
your
what my favorite one
favorite?
working with Low Pro. I mean, I don't know. There's a couple of those Miss Sancha records that bang. I kind of fuck with those records. But I'm trying to remember some of the titles of the Sancho records. He was really dope too, man.
You get so many, get caught up, you just forget.
And it's so I probably did like. You could ask Royal, he'll know the real number, but I probably did like 100 records with Low Profile.
Jeez.
And so I'm sorry, bro. I can't remember all the titles right now, man.
What's your favorite track that Fingers produced for one of Low Pro's songs?
My favorite track was off that Chronica 2012 Volume 2.
I remember that
40 ounce with Don Cisco.
Oh yeah, that's a banger.
Don Cisco?
Don Cisco
From the Bay Area? Or?
Yeah, with 40 ounce. That record goes. Yeah. That one goes.
Don Cisco and Down.
Yep.
Yeah, fuck that. I slap that shit all the time.
Yeah, that's a banger. Good one.
I got another question.
What up?
Did Royal ever try to pay you with that Low Pro chain?
With the chain?
Pay me with a Low Pro chain? That's funny, bro.
Let your chain hang.
That's funny. No, because I wasn't ever signed to Low Pro, so I don't think that would have been an option. But yeah, they did. They were flexing those chains, man, with the little spinning rim on them.
Yeah, I remember those.
all the artists had them.
That was back in the day.
Yep.
All right, brother.
Hey, and I got one more question, por favor, if I may.
Nah, go ahead, homie.
If have you ever had an artist that you regretted working with? I mean, like paper aside and shit. You getting paid and for your work and everything. Was this just somebody that was just real shitty working with?
That you regret working with?
Oh man, you can make me name names. Throw.
Like whether they were unprofessional or anything, huh?
Yes, there has been. I don't want to put no names out. You feel me? Like I don't want to throw anybody's name out and make it a thing. Like there's nothing been too bad, man. Like there's been a couple, weird episodes in the studio and it made it uncomfortable, but nobody really, did anything disrespectful to me for me to call them out or nothing. So no, everything's been pretty chill, right, man. Everybody's been respectful, and that's how I work, man. I like to keep the vibe good in the music.
Positivity, yeah.
It's all about the music, man. So I keep the drama out of the damn studio. You know
yeah, hey, regardless of whatever genre you're working on and shit, man, much respect, much love, and much prosperity to you and your career, man.
Man,
your thing, dog.
That's dope, Kiki. Thank you, brother.
All right, Kiki. Thanks for tapping in, man, tonight.
It's Kike, homie.
Oh, Kike.
Oh, Kike. Spanza, homie. Spanza.
Escondido.
Rapid. All right, we got to go to Washington, man. Let's take another call real quick. Let's see here. This is Washington State. You're on with Fingers right here on the Blackout Podcast. What up?
Yo, what up? First, shout out the Blackout Podcast. Much love. Shout out Fingers. Much love. Shout out from Washington State, as a matter of fact.
Hey, who's on the line?
Out. So my name is Crystal Vibes on the beat. I'm a producer. I got a producer question, homie.
What up? What up?
All right. In your opinion, in your humble opinion, what's your honest opinion on this? Is it better, like, for when you, as a producer, is it better to sell a beat for, like, say, let's just say $500 or $1,000 up front, or is it better to take points in the long run and not take a lot of cash up front?
Great
you
question.
That you've been doing it for a long time, what do you suggest? Because I'm stuck with that right now.
The only way to answer that question is you have to determine if you think that if you need the money now and the artist, you don't know for sure that the artist is going to really hustle that music, because it really, once it leaves the producer, it's on the artist to go make money with it for you. And if you think that they have a good team behind them, they have some money to promote, and they're just a hustler, and they have a buzz and a fan base, then I would take those points and screw the money up front. But if you feel like, they just want to make music, they're kind of a weekend warrior type artist that's not going to really do anything to promote the music and make money in streams and whatnot, then I would get that money up front. And if you really are, if at all possible, get both.
Smart question.
Even
Great
if you get
answer.
less points. Even if you get less points, get less points or less money up front or whatever, but get both.
You just fill the room out. Feel the vibe
man.
on it.
Yeah, exactly. It's you got to make the call. You got to make the call on per artist.
Hell yeah. Hey, I got one more producer question. Hey, and I appreciate your time, but look, check this out.
Yeah.
So when you're working on specifically Chicano rap, because you made like some of the top hits, Summer Nights, all those big hits for Chicano rap. When you're making beats like that, do you go in there like thinking, like kind of being like, oh, this is for Chicano rap, or it was just a beat that a Chicano rap artist ended up getting on?
Another good question.
So that's my question. Like,
Yeah, I first of all, when I started doing Chicano rap, it definitely had a sound. And what I tried to do, because I did so many other types of music, my mission was to try to make and slowly add my influence to try to mainstream the sound a little bit so it could get a bigger audience, which is, like I had said earlier, about trying to convince Rob to do Summer Nights. It was a little bit different from taking an oldie sample and chopping it up. I made something original that had a little poppier feel, a little more bass and 808, and trying to add that influence to make it kind of a new and evolving sound of Chicano rap. But yeah, to answer the question properly is like, yes, if I'm making a beat that's specifically like for a Chicano rap artist, I know the elements that I'm going to include are going to be like the oldies feel, maybe Talkbox and some kind of gangster elements, that make it hit hard, like, so it feels like still has a street edge to it. And those little formulas, elements have to go into every beat I'm doing for those artists.
Can I just say I love the fact how you use that word, try to evolve Chicano rap and make it bigger than what it is. Because some people just, they want to stay where it was. Like Bozo was the same way. Like when I asked Bozo, who was on High Power,
shout out Bozo,
at one point, he said the same thing. He goes, man, when I came to High Power, he goes, I wasn't a fan of Chicano rap. He goes, but I was trying to evolve it, like make it bigger than what it is, than just the same. Now we're all, used to hearing funk from us, oldies and whatnot.
Yep.
But people like yourself, producers, you try to bring that out of us, like, you know what I mean?
Well, early on too, because I was working with Corrupt and Roscoe a lot, and when Mr. Shadow was coming through, black and brown artists weren't really fucking with each other back then.
Right.
And so in my studio was kind of a safe zone, and so I would convince like Shadow, like, once they were homies, because he might meet Corrupt and Roscoe in my studio, hey, let's get on a record together. And next thing you know, we're trying to branch out and do records with different types of artists. And then maybe an artist will get comfortable and we'll explore doing something a little more poppy. And like with Young Quicks from Oxnard right now, we've got a bunch of records where we've explored and tried some different things that you wouldn't normally call Chicano rap.
Yeah.
And it's been fun to try to do that because, why not? Why not branch out a little bit and try something as an artist and do something a little different,
There you go, homeboy. What radio station?
Hey, yo, Fingaz.
What up?
Hey, yo, Fingaz, before I dip out, I just wanted to thank you once again. My name is Crystal Vibes on the beat. I want to thank you as a producer because now I'm getting to the point where I'm actually making money off the music, and you're a big inspiration to me, man. Thank you so much. I'll always be bumping your shit forever, man. Hey, much love to the Blockout. Shout out everybody. Much love to my raza. I'll see y'all later. Good night.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate
you.
you. Keep making that money.
That's it, man. I thought you was talking about a radio station. He's like on the beat. Because you remember back in the day it was on the beat, 92.3 the beat. But that's actually his production name.
You thought a radio station was called your podcast?
No, I thought he was like, this is so-and-so on the beat. Like, to me, when I would hear that back in the day, you'd think radio stations were called.
Because you used to do like Fingers on the Beat or like producer
Got
tag.
it.
Yeah.
It clicked later, man.
Check out the homies' beats. Was it Crystallized, right?
Crystal on the beat.
Crystal.
Yeah,
I thought it was Crystallized. I thought it was say.
Crystallized. He don't sound like Crystal. You know what I'm saying?
Crystallized is
Crystal
dope,
yeah.
Crystallized on the beat. Check him out.
Let's see here. Yeah, you talk about Young Quick. Shout out to Young Quicks, man. That's a dude right there to be hustling, man. He been putting on he puts out music like crazy. He's got a dope flow too, man.
We have a whole album of stuff nobody's heard yet that is so fire.
Yeah.
Crazy. And just waiting for the right time for it to drop.
What do you think? I think he's this close from just like really blooming, bro.
I mean, he's a perfect example of an artist, how they should be hustling.
Right.
Him and his team.
Yes.
Shout out to Eric, rocking their gear right now.
Okay.
Hood Space. They are always hustling. They're doing stuff. He also does stuff in the community where he's doing food drives and toy drives, and he's constantly putting music out and promoting and just moving. And you have to be that serious about it to make it as an artist and be just grinding nonstop.
Yeah, because it's not gonna come to you. It's not gonna sit on your lap, my
You
G.
can, and if you're just because you're super talented doesn't mean the game owes you anything. You gotta hustle.
Can we take another call, Fingers?
Do it.
Let's go to Phoenix, Arizona. AZ, you're on with Fingadelic. Fingers, what's up? Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on. There you go. Hello?
Edgar again, man. I want to ask Fingers one quick question.
Go ahead, Edgar.
What up?
So I forgot to ask you about Yadiel Rado's song, the corrido with King Little G. How was it doing that record?
Which one?
You did a song with King Lil G?
Yadiel Roado. It's a corrido song.
Oh.
With King Little G.
Well, I was playing Talkbox over the corrido.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
How was that?
That was amazing. It was a challenge. No, I played, it's like a straight up like corrido with banda, like tuba and the bass and
you
everything.
play Talkbox on it?
And I put Talkbox. It's called West Coast something, right? West Coast, damn, it's called something.
Fingers, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I told you guys earlier. Fingers is the best freaking producer. He's always evolving, innovating the movement, because he's always making those hits. Nobody knows a lot about the song, because they didn't go.
Yeah, man,
big,
I'm glad you heard that. That was fun to play Talkbox on a corrido. It's like a totally different rhythm than the funk.
Yeah.
So, but it was challenging and it was fun, and I'm glad you heard that one. I didn't know many people heard it.
Jenny Rivera, now he's doing corridos. I mean, Fingers has done everything, man.
What's crazy crazy right now, Edgar, is I'm working with Kilo Down, aka Kilo again, and his new sound that we've developed is all corrido, and we're using real.
Yeah, what do you think about
trumpets.
that? That sound is just so huge right now. Danny, you're a big part, right, of the banda?
Yeah, like the urban. They call it the música urbana, the corridos.
We're doing that kind of music with him rapping, and he signed a couple singers that are amazing. This one named 5150, so dope. And I've learned how to make that music now, so I'm writing like corrido music.
There you go.
And I bring in the requinto players and the chachata horns, and so I've been doing that. We're making a whole new sound with Kilo with that stuff. So
that's dope.
Should
Can't
be
wait
dropping.
to hear that. Edgar, want to thank you for chopping in again, bro. Great questions, man.
All right, man. See you guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Edgar.
All right, brother. Man, we want to do something fun. Can we do something fun?
Yeah, let's do it.
Can we get on the keys? Can we get
turn it up?
Phalanges, a.k.a. Fingadelic on the keys?
I think it's about that time.
About that time?
Yeah.
All right, guys.
What do we got?
Man, I don't know what you got over there. We're just going to do this organic. Maybe throw on a beat or something. See this man. Never done before, man. Fingers ain't doing this nobody but the Blackout Podcast. I'm letting you guys know that right now. Let them know, Danny. Let them know, Tortanator.
Yeah, dig. Yeah, man. Shout out to Fingadelic for holding us down. First time meeting you, dude. It's fucking dope, bro. Appreciate that.
I appreciate you guys having me on, man.
I was telling him earlier how I picked up the Ableton shit, so it took me like 30 days to make one beat. So
yeah,
but it's pretty dope.
You're on your way,
picking up knowledge, and I'm good at picking up shit quick. So it's like
that's dope.
It's just dope. So I can't wait for that shit. But
we gotta all come back and do an ODM record and collab on a beat.
Hey, Moons was already like, "Hey, fool, do you think Fingers will do a beat?" I go, "Fool, we're going to do the podcast. It's not work day." I go, "But you never know, Fingers, man. You know what I'm saying? He'll come up with one in 30 minutes.
Do a beat real quick, like
let's go, man. So
music?
we got the camera. This camera's cool right here on him.
Yeah, we could do it right there. That's fine with that.
Oh shit.
More audio,
Yeah, man. Come on.
The Blackout Podcast.
Here we go.
I like that already. Fingers
ODM in the house.
and La Casa.
Talkstar. ODM. Are you gonna rap?
Turn the beat up just a little, can you? Just a little.
ODM. Do you remember how to rap?
Do I remember how to rap? I can make it boom bap. ODM still here, about to slap. I'm laying on the couch right here. You know the flavor's good. Used to be IE, now Fingers in Hollywood. Got it right here on the Talkbox, and I'll be flipping this microphone like a rock box. Shit, homie, I'ma say check your socks. Where you at, fool? I'm from that old school.
Yeah, old school. ODM, light a shade of brown.
Well, Fingadelic.
Fingadelic in the house.
I'm a talk star, I'm a rock star. Your girl might call me a cock star. With instrumental, flipping this shit, never needing no pencil. Yo, Fingers, he on that Talkbox rocket. That's right, I got this mic in my pocket. And it's so damn hot. Yo, bring, hey, yo, Fingers, make them sing.
Shoot. Rocking on the Talkstar, yep. Keep down low, baby.
Yeah. More pounds to the ounce, I keep it old school. That's right, cause I'm an old fool. ODM laid back and I'm so cool. I saw your girl, yeah, she started to drool. I'm from back to 9-0, running these shows. ODM, yeah, you catch me on the radio, catch me in the studio, catch me in the video. Back in the day, caught me in your girl's booty-o. Hey.
Oh no.
Caramba!
Oh damn.
Hey, damn, cochino, ODM.
Cochino. Yoko. Yeah, Blackout Podcast.
Let's go. Exclusive. Talk about back in the day, Finger. Tell us back in the day with the funk. How it was in the back in the day, man. Come on.
Let me tell you about back in the day when everybody funky. Shit just ain't the same, no. Oh, you know it's not the same, no.
Baby. Fingadelic, baby, let's go. Live on the Blackout Podcast, you already know, man. This is just off the cuff.
Yeah. I don't know what to say anymore. I have run out of things to say. Oh.
So rough, so tough.
So rough, so tough out here, mama. So rough, so tough out here,
Rest in
mama.
peace, Roger Troutman. Come on, man.
Rest in peace, Roger Troutman.
Stop playing. My Talkbox player is better than yours. Come on, man. Shit, let's go. I'm going to put you up against any Talkbox player out there, man. Yes, I said it, damn it. That's Fingadelic right there, man. I'm going to put Danny's money up, his lunch money up.
I wanted to do some Zapp and Roger medleys, but that YouTube won't allow
Yeah,
it.
so the thing is, he started busting out all the jams, Computer Love, all that, but you know how a motherfucker got suspended last week, so we're not going to have that again. Maybe we'll do it on another channel, another day, whatever, but what's up?
So we got it on BTS, though.
You do? Oh, yeah, we have it behind the scenes, so
BTS.
look for it, upcoming videos after this live one, though. But Fingers, man, dude, appreciate you once again, man, for taking the time out of your busy schedule, because I know you'd be busy in this studio just making out hits and hits. And we learned some things, man. I know I did. Who would have thought, man? I've known you for so many years. And, we don't talk as often, but, I mean, we live our busy lives. I got my family,
you're busy as hell, too. What are you talking about?
So, yeah, man. But gracias again, bro. Thank you for contributing to what you've done to not just being into this music thing, but also just being a humble cat, man.
Yeah, man. It's been a very cool journey. And I'm humbled and blessed to have had, the people that even have heard the music and acknowledge, how it is when you make some. What you do it for is to have people even recognize that what you're doing. Thank everybody for tuning in and listening through the years. Stay tuned for more stuff coming out too.
See that, man? He's so humble, bro. This is a legacy right here, man. FINGAZZ is a legacy, and he says that humbly because I get that a lot too, man. Motherfuckers, you lie, Shader, bro. You do that, no, but it's like we do it out of love. This is what we do, and then we reap the benefits later. And this is what it is. When I see 7-year-olds singing our songs on their dad's shoulders at concerts, that's rewarding to me. To know that your dad passed this music down to you, and that's the same thing that's happening, with your music as well, man.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. That's definitely what it's all about. So,
what else we need to tell them, bro, before we bounce, rock, skate up out and go get me some tacos, man?
Yeah, I got tacos calling me too. So,
hey, we're gonna go grab some. Right?
I don't know what else to say. There's some, check out fingadelic.com.
Yeah.
That's my original Talkbox music. I got Classics 4 coming out. I said that's going to be really dope. A lot of legendary classic music that I'm redoing with the Talkbox.
When does that hit?
I don't have a release date, but I have to finish it the end of this month. So that means it's going to come out mid-April.
Okay.
So I would say check for it around mid-April. And I'll be promoting on the socials, which is Fingadelic on Instagram at Fingadelic. Just like the website, it's real easy. My Facebook's the same, Fingadelic. And if you want to check out the Talkstar, if you are interested in playing Talkbox or you do play Talkbox and you want to step the game up, check out thetalkstar.com. And you can see what's going on with that right there. Masterclass if you want to game up. Even if you can't afford the Talkstar, it's unfortunately a little expensive compared to the ones at Guitar Center because, handmade in America and small batches and the quality of parts we use. So it's a little more expensive, but...
Can you make payments on it?
We have a firm financing, boy.
If you act right now.
If your credit's not jacked, get your girl's credit to buy it.
And also, not to mention, coming this year, you got the new Little Rob project with FINGAZZ and also Down, Kilo, which I'm looking forward to both projects, man. Those corridos, man. I can't wait to hear. I'm going to go look up that song. I haven't heard that one with King Little G one, the one that you did.
That one is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Hey, don't forget new music with Malo Mac too, Young Quicks.
Lighter Shade of Brown coming soon.
Yep.
Hey. FINGAZZ on the track.
Triple album.
I know where you at now. Yeah, I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna come back, bro.
Damn.
I mean, if I'm invited, of course,
you guys are always welcome here, man.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just gonna keep doing my thing. Okay. It's interesting to hear some of the callers asking like, why don't you do Chicano rap anymore? Like, bro, I never stop.
I know. It's just there was a point where that whole scene was that was from what, like 2000? When
I feel like 2010. It just kind of it just changed up a little bit.
Died out? Not would you? Well, when did it start? Like 02? I still don't even know.
Well, I mean, I don't know how long it was going before that. I know like Little Rob had albums long before.
Right. He kind of started it in Capone's and whatnot.
Low pro.
That was its heyday, though, right? Obviously, I think so. People just missed that sound, like they missed '90s. Period.
Yeah, I mean,
they missed the sound.
It's definitely a nostalgia thing, and some of these people have kids now that are used to listening to it with their parents, and they think it's new to them because, all they're hearing all day is maybe like, mumble trap music, and they hear that other stuff, and it sounds cool to them because it's different.
I heard Cece, the Mamacita.
Yeah, Cece. Shout out,
she made a comment the other day. She said, I don't know if there's an artist today that you'll be able to bump like in 20 years, or no, she said in terms of concerts, selling out concerts, what artist today that's doing the hip hop 20 years from now that could still sell out concerts, just like Cube's doing, just like Bone Thugs is doing. Lighter shaded brown. We're still keeping it busy, you know?
Well, you know, the last thing I'll say, 'cause I know you're trying to wrap up, but
Nah,
the thing,
come on,
the
man.
reason, the reason that I think is happening is because of social media and because of attention spans and the ease of how it's easy to get music. Right, back in the day, we'd have to go wait in line to buy an album, and we'd have to spend our money, and we could hold
appreciated
it. It was
more.
a tangible thing, and it was important, and it was like music meant something more. And now because there's so much music and it's so easy, you just click a button, you can hear a song, any song you ever want to hear. That it lost all its value. And so
that's so crazy.
I remember that. Like, there was a store, because I'm from Ontario, so like there was a store called.
Don't start banging, fool.
No. Like, there was a store out there. There was a store out there called Ritmo Latino.
Yep.
Damn, I remember those. Yeah.
So and dude, one time it was when Daddy Yankee's album came out, the big Barrio Fino. And the line wrapped around the building, dude. It was like on a corner, and it was like I was in line.
Yeah, dude.
That CD.
Well, since you're in that area, back in our warehouse in Fontana was a big one off of Sierra, bro. Same thing. They would line up. We'd go to Phoenix, shout out to Phoenix, Arizona, Edgar, and then line up around circles. You remember circles if you were out there, but that's the way it was. And you look forward to waiting in line, meeting and greeting, getting your CD signed, opening up the CD, seeing the lyrics there, reading the lyrics if they had them at the time. Getting your poster, putting it on the wall, getting the cassettes, and so on and so forth. I mean, for the DJs, putting the needles on the record, hearing the crackling sound of a record. I mean, just so much shit you can get into. In fact, that's coming back where fools are buying turntables now.
Yep.
My daughter just asked for one. She's like,
my nephew just hit me up, and he's trying to DJ, and he doesn't want to do Serato and digital shit. He's like, I want to spin vinyl.
Yeah.
I said, what? I go, I got a warehouse full of vinyl. You can come pick through that shit.
Yeah.
He was finding he knew the records he's pulling out, like Rick James and and Parliament and stuff. He's like, oh, can I have this one? Like, how do you know that?
I think the Serato game has been around in terms of the software, has been around so long now that the generation now is that's what they think DJ is.
I know.
But when they see that, it's just more fascinating.
Everything goes in like a cycle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, you remember when 80s music came back, and everybody was doing something that sounded like 80s. We know what that is.
Right.
But like kids are hearing it sounds fresh to them, and it's like, no, fool, that's the 80s. They're just reflipping an 80s song.
Same with hip hop. Like right now, like Lighter Shade of Brown. That's why we started working on another album. It's like, dude, we just jumped into a sound that they're basically resurfacing from the 90s.
Yep.
All that funk and shit. I mean, funk will never go away.
No. But yeah, you're right. It's like kind of 90s is coming back now. And everything goes in cycles because, the young kids, they discover it and they think it's fresh.
I am proud of, though, the Latino movement that nowadays, though, I will say it, they grew up on some 90s shit, man. You could tell. And just some of these artists I named earlier, they just embraced hip hop, and they're on beat for one. We never talked about that, putting rappers on beat, because I've talked about it in the past, but I remember we've had conversations about putting some of these artists on beat back in the day.
I made a point to not just fix certain rappers. I ain't gonna put nobody's names out, but I've made a point to show them, like, you move it on the right pocket and then undo it and show them back and forth, and then like, oh, I can hear it now. You know what I mean? Like hearing where the real pocket is.
Yeah.
And that's, I think hopefully trying to, like the same thing, trying to make artists better. And
at least
like
at least you teach them, bro. That's the important thing.
Tried to.
Unless you were just trying to hurry up and get out of there. No,
if I wanted to hurry up, I would have just fixed it after they got out of my studio, and they would have known what the hell happened. It just sounded better.
I couldn't tell you that, man. Just how many. Yeah, but at some point you go, man, it's your integrity. Like, this is my track you're rapping on, so you have to sound decent. You know what I mean?
That's why I'm doing it, really. I mean, I'm trying to make the record way better. I've done some shit. I'm not going to name names, but I've a few times punched in when they're mumbling and they didn't want to fix the rap.
Yeah.
Because
they thought it was cool or something.
They thought it was cool being fucked up or something. I don't know why, but as I'm mixing it, it was bothering me so much that I've punched in words with my voice and matched theirs. And I'm talking about songs that have been on the radio.
Oh shit! Come on, man.
Because I had to fix it, man. It's my record.
You got
my production.
You gotta tell us. Don't tell us the artist. Tell us the song.
Off the record.
Tell us the song.
Tell us the song. This fool.
Hey, man. Damn, I miss those days, though. Just the production. I got to get back into it. I have for this new album, this project we're working on. It's just too easy, man. I'm literally on my laptop. Yeah, I'm chopping them up just on my laptop. Logic. I use
so
Logic.
much easier now. Oh, my God.
Man, that whole 90 sampler, like, it's easy, bro.
Yeah, it's fun. Don't ever lose that. It's part of the artistry of music. I think just finding a beat and on YouTube or something and rapping on it, that's cool to get your, skills up.
Yeah.
But you're making a record from scratch. All of artists come in and they're like, play me beats. I'm like, no, well, I don't do that. What do you want to make? What kind of record? Sit down and talk to me. And like, let's talk about what are you thinking about right now? Like, what kind of record? What vibe?
You told me the same thing years back.
That's how I like to work, because I want to make a record with that energy that's in the room with that artist, instead of just shooting out beats. I never really liked doing that.
I think it was Captain Mo when I came through it. I was like, you're like, I don't know. What's your drink? I go, man, I drink Captain Morgan, man. At the time I was drinking Captain Morgan.
I think I knew that. You were pretty much staying with a Captain and Coke.
And you were like, all right, well, let's do a beat around Captain Mo, because we were trying to concept the album out. And as we go along, you're like, let me see if I can. And you literally, I watched you, just produce it from scratch.
That beat was funky too.
That shit was probably hit the hardest on that album, man.
Yeah, I like that. I like that
Stay
one a lot.
buzzing with my Captain Mo, because he's my buddy. Yeah, he's my buddy.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun process.
Yeah,
for sure.
Let's see here. The tech says, what up, Fingers? I just bought the Talkstar. It's fire, bro. I'm still new, but I'm going to get there.
Hey. What did you say his name was? The Tech?
The Tech. Shout out to the Tech, man. There you go. Best investment.
Welcome to the Talkstar family. And, Talkbox Masterclass. Game up. Practice.
What's his first step? Give him the first step he needs to do.
I just did.
That was it?
Yeah,
Practice.
I everybody, when they get a Talkstar, they get basically introduced or enrolled in the master class, and it explains right from jump, like, take advantage of the course, because it'll help you get started. Even if you do play Talkbox, you might game up even more. And then I say through the whole course, man, I'm being very honest, that practice, because it just takes a lot of practice to get good. So, yeah, man, keep practicing.
That's what's up.
Reach out if you need some help. We always got you.
There it is, man. The Talkstar. I've always wanted to learn how to. Man, I just saw what I try. I don't know who's
just got one, Mr. Criminal.
Yeah, I seen him. He's on IG.
Yeah, and he's taking the course, man. He's gotten better already.
He has a Talkstar, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
And he's been posting with it, and he's been in the course, and he hit me up, and he's like, I love this thing, man. This thing is crazy, and got him to take the course, so he's getting better with the tube and everything. So
that's dope.
Yeah,
and he can just reach out to you because he knows you too. That's what I'd be doing.
Yeah.
It figures.
He's a little spoiled there.
All right. No, I'm not going to Twitch. I'm in Hollywood right now, man. We're going to go get something to eat. Then we're going to head back to the IE. And, it is what it is. You hungry, bro? You want to go grab something to eat, man? Or you got work to do? He got beats.
No, actually, I can't eat tacos right now, bro.
Okay.
I'm on a
diet.
Special diet.
All right.
I had to get rid of this panza.
You know what, bro? I noticed that. You've been up and down. I go up and down, too, with that shit, man, all the time.
You know why? Because I was drinking like 24 beers just sitting in this chair.
And we're just sitting in the chair all day.
Sitting and then be hungry and go home at 3 a.m. and get fucking Carl's Jr.
That's too easy.
Taco Bell and just horrible, treating my body like shit.
So you're not drinking beer no more right now?
No. I'm barely drinking, and I'm doing a keto diet.
That's us. Well, me and Moons. That's what
bro. All I eat is
quickest.
Just fat and protein.
That's why you saw me with the chicharrones when I walked in.
I lost. If you saw me around New Year's, I was almost 200 pounds, and I'm 168.
Damn, we gonna start talking about weight. That's where I'm at right now, 200. But I need to be at 170, at least 180.
You're a little taller than me, so you get a couple extra pounds for that.
I leave a little cushion for the push, and that's the hyena show.
So I miss tacos, though. I could eat the meat out of them. I just can't eat the tortilla.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. They're going to start clowning on us right now in the live chat. So why you supposed to talk about their weight? God, man, they go have a beer already. Shout out to everybody in the super chat again, man. Fingadelic, that's what it is right there. Fingadelic.com. And literally everything's up there. All this man's work and the Talkstar, you can find links to everywhere.
Oh, bro, let me
You've
say
always
one
been
more
on your
thing.
marketing game, too. What's
I
up?
didn't mean to cut you off.
Nah.
Totally forgot to talk about one of my other artists signed to me, Alan Paris. Man, you know him as
Joffrey, yeah.
Man.
Love to work with
me
him.
and Ja been working since, I'll call him Ja for this case, but his artist name now is Alan Paris. And we've been working together since like Purple Room days, like 2005.
Yep.
And you know Bam Bam from
Cute.
IE.
Yeah. The radio jock,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
He's introduced us. They were friends, and Ja was from West Covina, and we started working, and we've been working ever since. And the new music we have is so incredible, man. Anybody listening, I'd love for you to check it out.
Because he went through a name change, too, right?
Well, he got
Joffrey,
signed to Warner Brothers, and then they just sat on him, kind of. And so he finally got out of his deal.
Yeah, I remember I ran into him at a show one day, and he was telling me the whole story.
He had a rough ride, man. He kind of had the ups and downs of being signed and thinking things were going to happen, and all the music was always dope. So now we have a small independent label called Elite Frequency Group, or EFG Music, and we've signed up Alan Paris, and we're putting out his music, and he has some really dope videos, and we have some new releases coming out too. So
he's got a dope ass voice, man. He's got that like reggae feel.
well, he was
kinda...
the Weeknd before the Weeknd.
Ooh,
he's kind of, if you listen to the new stuff, it's like kind of it gives you the vibes of the Weeknd.
Do you think it makes it harder for him now to excel because
I
the
don't,
Weeknd is
I
already
don't
a
think
Weeknd?
so. We thought it would.
Not calling him the Weeknd, but I'm saying
No.
because of that
But
sound.
that's what we're worried about. And when other people hear it, they don't just go, "Oh, that just sounds like the Weeknd." I think it's better. It goes more places. Weeknd, no disrespect because he's amazing, but he just kind of has that one note sound.
But you listen to the Weeknd and you go, okay, that's that 90s sound from Michael or 80s sound from Michael.
And we were doing that before that. And now it's like, why are we going to stop doing what we were doing just because the Weeknd blew up to be such a big artist? We're not changing.
Another comparison would be like Frankie J and Bruno Mars.
That's perfect. It's a great example.
Same tone.
But he can't change who he is. He's still going to do the music.
Yeah.
I did a record with Frankie J called Miracles that is like a Bruno funk record that is so dope.
Yeah.
It's so. But shout out to Frankie J.
It's out?
It's out. It was for a movie soundtrack.
Okay.
So it didn't get pushed as a single, but we've toyed around doing some music together. He's super talented, man.
Yeah, he's underrated, man, for sure. What about Bash? You're not working with Bash?
Yeah, me and Bash started a funk EP. He wanted to just rap on funk and get different singers. We put a couple records together, and he's all over the place, man, just promoting weed and
Trejo's music.
Yeah,
he's
doing
working
shows.
with Danny Trejo.
That guy's got to be the hardest working.
So
the guy's in a different city every time I talk to him.
Yeah, he called me there. I was like, "What's up, man?" He's like, "Man, I'm at the fucking airport, man." I go, "Yeah, on a fucking show." I mean,
always.
And this is the way artists talk, and it's not that we don't want to come see you, but it's life on the road, and I know probably opening up another can right now, but it is what it is. Like, we got families, just the way we feed them. But sometimes we just want to stay home one weekend, man. That's what
traveling
it is.
will wear you out for sure.
That's what it is. Thank you. Wear and tear.
It's just the traveling, not getting there and seeing fans and performing. It's the traveling will wear you out.
Right.
But yeah, me and Bash, it's funny. Like I always will claim the fact that he introduced me to Chicano rap by discovering me at the House of Blues that night with Frost.
Yeah. Speaking of, JT is in the fucking chat right now.
Oh, what? JT?
What up? And I'm rocking the N2 Deep hat.
Yeah, you are.
Throw the phone back on. JT, call us up, man. Put the number out. What's? Hold on, man. I don't even have it up.
It should be pinned if you typed it in. I saw it. It was pinned on there.
Oh, I didn't type it in. JT, call us up, man. Come holler at your boy real quick.
I spoke to JT in a minute.
Let's see here. He'll call up. Let me see.
I'll type it in right now.
Actually, I can call him, can I? Yeah, I can call him. That'd be easier. Let's see. I think I got his number here. Answer your phone, JT. Go ahead. Suele. See if he answers.
What up, pimp?
What's up, boy? JT N2 Deep.
What up?
What's cracking?
Oh, we're just sitting here, man, chopping over fingers, bro. We haven't seen each other forever, but I said, man, come on the podcast, bro. And we started bringing up the old days, how him and I met through Bash, you, and Frost.
If I remember right, we met him at the studio all together. Me, you, Bash, and Frost.
Yep.
In L.A. somewhere.
No, I think it was in Corona.
Corona?
Yeah, it was either in my studio in Corona, or I feel like I met at a show in Anaheim that Bash and you were at.
Yeah, I remember the Anaheim show.
I think that was it. And then you worked in my studio in Corona with Frost on some like Latino Velvet.
You were working that same weekend, so maybe that's why you thought it all just happened at once. But yeah, OC,
I thought he did the hook on "Girl, I Like What You Do."
Did you do that?
On that,
Girl, I like what you.
I think I did. Yes.
Yeah.
Fuck, mind
Yeah,
blown right now, dog. I was on that song.
I remember that.
And I didn't know that.
I remember that. Yeah.
Oh shit, dropping
That's where we met him.
That's crazy. That is crazy. How you been, bro?
Damn.
I've been good. Yeah, Bash just hit me up and told me you guys were on here, so I've tuned in.
That's what's up.
Damn.
Yeah, how you guys been?
We chilling, man.
We're good.
What's
We're
up?
good.
You doing?
You still up in the Bay?
Yep. I'm still out here.
That's what's up.
For life.
For life.
Hey, JT, you doing them shows right now or what? You staying busy?
Yeah. I'm taking a little break from the shows right now, but
Okay.
I'll be back. I'm waiting for TL. He had a little accident, so he's in a recovery.
Oh,
broke
shit.
his shoulder.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh. I hope everything's all
back,
right,
though.
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Prayers up for TL.
Yep.
Damn, he said Latino Velvet, man. Fuck, bro.
It's a long time ago now.
I remember.
It was the good old days. Yeah.
That was,
talking about.
that was when Bash was Beach.
He was beach when I met him. Yeah.
That was the wheat bread days.
The weed.
That's great.
When are you gonna be in LA, bro? Or are you just chilling right now?
I'm gonna be out there for a little Disneyland trip in a couple months. You me slide through?
Yes, sir. You already know.
Man, all good.
Hit
Come
me
back.
up too, man. Come through the studio. I'm over by Universal Studios. Make a trip over there and just come see me.
That's right where I post up at. Yep.
Yep.
Maybe we'll just come here, bro, and do the podcast with JT if that's cool with you.
We
Fingers.
can make that happen.
You know?
Yeah, we got to link up again, bro.
Try to get a hit in while we're at it.
Okay. Okay.
Man.
Let's get it. Old times.
Much love, man.
Yeah, good to hear from you, brother.
Right on, man. Stay up. All right, pimp.
Hey, you see I'm rocking the hat, though.
Let me go look at the TV again. All right, I'm going to see some more stuff, too.
Yes, sir. I'm always
My
supporting.
number one supporter. Much love.
All right,
bro.
bro. Stay up, man. JTZ. That's what's up, homie. Shit, who else I got in my Rolodex right
Just
here?
start cold calling motherfuckers.
Well, he said Bash told him to get on. Maybe
Yeah,
Bash
man,
is
why
watching
didn't Bash
around.
call in?
Call
motherfucker?
Bash.
Let's see what this fool talking about. Let me see.
And be like, hello.
All right, it's called Bash.
Be all high.
What's cracking, nephew?
You got him down.
The smoking nephew. Or you know. what he said.
Phalanges.
I'm getting high as a what he said.
High as giraffe pussy.
High as a giraffe pussy. Let's see if he answers. He know, man. He knows why I'm calling.
He's probably in the pool.
Don't hate. Pick up.
He's probably in the pool.
You know how he does his videos?
Yeah.
Please leave your message.
Oh man, no dice. Hold on, who else we gonna call? Let me call somebody else. This is no, bro, because I love it when all like us get together. It don't happen all the time, even if it's on the phone. Like we just did a show with Shadow on Saturday. We had a song called 61909
Yeah, I remember that.
back in the day.
Yeah.
And first time ever in history performed that song, bro. They went fucking
Sick.
crazy. It was like, wow, I was like, you down to do it? Yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna be in your town. Let's do it. And
Oh,
yeah.
you know what? You just reminded me of a song. Was it Queen Row or somebody asked me my favorite song I did? One of my favorite songs I did that didn't get like blown up or something.
yeah.
Shadow. I had when I did that whole album, Pit Boston album with him. There was a couple bangers on there. There's one called 420.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite records I had done. And then there was one called Gang Bang and Don't Stop. That record was so different.
Gangbanging Don't Stop.
That record was so different and so hard. And I still that's one of my favorite records I ever made with Mr. Shadow.
I'm calling this person, and if they answer, let's see if you know who it
I
is.
have to guess. Okay.
to guess who it is.
Oh, we're playing games now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he's got to know who I am first, because I already. Well, he's got me on caller ID, probably. Let's see if he pick up. Let's see. I'm starting to take this shit personal. None of you motherfuckers pick my shit up.
Hello.
What's up, homie? It's ODM.
ODM, what's good with it?
We got Fingers right here, man. He's trying to guess who I called. He doesn't know who I called, and he's listening right now.
Shit.
We're live on the
Sounds
Blackout
like
Podcast.
Shadow.
Who?
Sounds like Shadow.
No, it's not Shadow. Give him a hit. Give him a hint.
Shit, we're making bangers right now, my boy.
Oh, shit, it's Malo.
Malo Mac. What's up, bro?
We were just talking about Mr. Shadow, so I thought he was calling him up.
Yeah, bro, we're live on air right now, just to let you know. So just,
okay.
Just a disclaimer.
Yeah, I was telling
salute to the podcast.
Yeah, I was telling him about all the bangers we got coming up.
Yeah, we dropping nothing but classics on these motherfuckers for sure.
Talk about it. You just released one with Fingers not too long ago where I was on it, man. Now you working on another one? Stay busy.
Yep. We working over here, dog. You know what I mean? OT, overtime, homie.
Yeah. So how far are we into the new project?
Shit, we're probably like 75%.
Yeah, this is the funkin' oldies one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Oldies is fun.
So it's some fire, man. We're having fun making records. So yeah, that's coming real soon. Yeah, we wanted to. We're just reaching out to see who's gonna pick up right now.
Yeah, I'm in my Rolodex right now. I say, let's call. We just called JT, man. If I'm in too deep, and I tried reaching out to Bash, but he didn't pick up. I said, let me call somebody else, see if you recognize who's on the phone.
Yeah. That's my boy Fingers right there, dog.
Hey, we're gonna have you slide through, bro.
Yeah, I'll pull up. Let me know what's good. We'll get it in.
Okay. Well, we out here a special trip in Hollywood, so we'll do that back in IE since I know you out in the Rib.
Yes, sir. Yeah, let's get it, dog. You know what I mean? Fucking props to the podcast. You guys keep doing your thing, and Fingers, I'm gonna hit you, dog. Let's tap in. We fucking finish some things up.
Easy. Let's do it.
Malo Mac.
Okay.
All right, bro.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, you guys have a good one.
You too, bro.
Hey.
There it is, man. Malo Mac don't do interviews either, from what I understand, but he gonna come on the homie shit, man. Cause there's Bash. We'll wrap it up with Bash Basharini. What's up, nephew?
Yo, what's the word?
Miss me and Fingers, we right here. We high as giraffe pussy.
Man, not phalanges in them.
Phalanges in them.
Not phalanges in them.
Phalanges.
Man, I had to tell him.
That's my guy.
I had to tell him all the stories of discovering me at the House of Blues with the 2 Live crew and the fucking.
Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. I kept telling Frost, man, we need to get him in the studio, dog. Look at that guy over there, the keyboard guy. Look at him. He's got jam. You guys are doing funk beats. You guys are jamming, dog. You guys are doing some funky beats. And I said, Frost, man. And it was like 2 a.m. We went to the studio at 2 a.m, dog. It was crazy.
I was sick. You remember that? I just flew and shit.
Oh, yeah. You
didn't have no engineer?
No engineer. I just met you, dog. That was hilarious, dog.
You had to engineer your own shit?
No, because we had to wait for the engineer, and I was sick, and they were turning into a fucking party. All these chicks showed up.
You were kind of... Yeah, Fingers was lightweight tripping. He was like, "Man, I gotta go."
I was getting salty.
I was good, and the guy was from France. Remember the engineer was from France?
Yeah. Yep.
And then that's the same studio we did that song with ODM. We did "Girl, I Like What
We
You
were just
Do."
talking about that.
Yep, we were talking to JT about that song.
Yeah. That shit was hard, though.
Hey,
that was like the second song we were doing. Yeah.
I didn't even know that was Fingers on the fucking Talkbox to this day, until right now, to the Latino Velvet. That's crazy.
Really, yeah. I remember you liked it, though. You were like, man, because back then it was like, no one doing it that good.
Nope.
I mean, Magic was doing it good, but I mean, besides, we didn't know Magic that well back then. It was like, damn, this dude's killing it.
Nope. He was local. And we that's how we met. Like, we were talking about how we met in Orange County at some club. I don't know if you were there, Bash, but that's
that Bash introduced you. You were trying to see Bash at that show, and you had like vinyl in your hand and everything.
Oh, okay.
And that's when Bash introduced me to you, and then I don't know, it all fell together.
That was it. That was it. Shit.
No, I remember you guys live close to each other. So you guys do the same area.
Yeah.
Corona. Yep.
20 minutes away.
Oh yeah, man, they have beezies out there, man. Hella beezies out there. Yeah, every time
the Coronitas.
hey, every time I went out there, if I was going to go to see Fingers and Fingers at that house, that big house, and
Big house.
Flossy, yeah. Remember that house? Yeah.
Oh, the one at Corona, yeah, the purple.
Yeah,
room.
we're talking about the Purple Room studio.
Yeah, but I already knew it was going to be some beaties around all the time, down the whole city, dog.
I got talent, you know what I'm saying?
I knew I was going to take something down.
All good, brother.
But where you guys at?
Oh, we right here, man. We had Finger Spot. I mean, yeah, we're at Finger Spot right now, man. We're live on the Blackout podcast right now. We're just calling out, just some heads.
Oh, you guys are live right now?
We live right now, bro. Matter of fact,
what up, bro?
Put them in the what's that 15-second game real quick, Bash.
Oh, yeah. The pressure cooker.
Put them in the pressure cooker real quick. He gonna put you in the pressure cooker.
You ready?
We got a clock over there. We need a clock.
I got one right here.
We got a clock.
How many seconds you said? 15?
I think it's 15. Is it?
15 seconds on the clock, please.
15 seconds on the clock. Here we go. Whenever you ready.
My boy Fingers, you are now on the Baby Bash Pressure Cooker live on the Blackout Podcast.
Hello.
Uh-oh.
Check it out. I'm going to give you a question, Fingers. You got to give me 5 answers within 15 seconds. And you win a nice pat on the back from Rob.
I don't think I'm going to try that hard. 5 answers in 15 seconds. All right.
Yeah. I'll give you a question, all right?
Yeah.
All right. Give me 5 foods that start with the letter C. Go.
Cucumber, cauliflower, cheese.
Yep. 3.
Corn.
Yep. 4. One more, doggy.
Candy.
Hey, is candy food?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
I mean, it's up to it.
Did he get it?
He got it at 14:48, so he got it.
Wow. Man, you gave him an easy one, dog. You gave me some cereal shit last
What
time.
What do I get again? What's my prize again?
I get to pat your ass on the back.
Pat on the back.
Oh, man. We run. Yeah, I'll take it back.
I'm glad you got Fingers on there, man. Because Fingers is like, he's a legend. He should be, not should be, but he's just like I don't want to say behind the scenes that not everyone knows the story that of Fingers, Fingadelic, Phalanges, and it's so dope that you interview him, dog, and because he's always straight up. He's always been a straight up dude. He never sneaked nothing. He wasn't no sneaky cat. But he's been around.
Give us one memory, Bash, real quick. Give us one memory that you have Fingers back in the day.
Oh, the memory is just the ultimate memory, dog. When I was watching him perform in House of Blues, and he was in a band called Slapback, and I didn't know him, and I was a Kid Frost, and I kept saying, man, that dude, we need to get him on the album, Frost. And Frost was like, oh man, I don't know, man. I said, come on, dog, let's get him on the album, bro. So we're working right down the street, and then I went up to him, dog. He looked at me like, what? I said, man, can you come do a session, man? We'll pay you, bro.
Yeah.
He was like, all right. And then he was sick as fuck, dog. And then he was complaining and shit. Man, I gotta go, man. I gotta go before the engineer came. And then we stayed in contact, dog. And we stayed in contact, dog. And the rest is history.
Yeah, he was saying you had a bunch of beezies on stage with 2 Live Crew that night.
Oh man, it was thicker than a Snicker, man. Yeah, I'm glad you got a good dude on there because I don't really see Fingers doing too many interviews. I don't see him.
No sir,
around,
but he did for the Blackout. Oh, he did for ODM. He did for ODM.
Blackout is not.
I'm gonna give him that pat on his back.
Blackout these pelotas.
Blackout these pelotas. Baby Bash, man. Hey, bro, thanks for answering my call, cabrón. Appreciate it, man. Or calling me back.
All right, dog.
Hey, appreciate you, bro.
I'll holler at y'all later.
All
right, I'll see y'all later. Hey, Fingers, I need to come to the studio, man.
You know where I'm at? You know I'm over here by Universal. You know where I'm at?
All right, bro. I'll holler at y'all later.
Holla. All right, late.
There it is. Fingers victorious in the pressure cooker. Baby Bash's pressure cooker.
That was rough. I almost didn't get that last one. My brain was locking up.
You got that shit out, bro.
I remembered more. I named more foods with seed than I could remember my own songs.
That is like pressure though. Like you're getting put on the spot, so it's like you're like,
Yeah.
No, it is.
Boom, you know, he did it.
We do that shit at radio all the time. Yeah, I did. I did cereals. He goes, name. But he got all technical with mine. He was like, name cereals that don't have fruit in them.
Oh, that's too tough.
I was like, what the fuck?
You need like 30 seconds for that.
Like,
There's a bunch of fruities.
Cocoa Crisp. I don't know, a bunch of shit,
Was
man.
that Siri?
Was that me?
I think it was
Series
Siri.
just shutting you down.
How long we in this bitch right now? No, Twitch shut me
2:30.
down the other day. After,
Wow.
after 3 hours, man. It said, beep, network error. I was like, I'm good. We've been going, what?
233. 233.
233.
You need to wrap it up for your tacos.
Let me see. Should we call one more person? Who should we call, man? All right, we're going to do guess this person one more time. Let me see.
Oh, jeez.
Somebody you fuck with. Let me see.
Is there even people still in the thing?
Yeah,
Yeah, bro.
People tapped in the show.
Yeah, 128 right now.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
keep it going, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, never mind, man. I want some tacos. We'll just leave it at that, bro. When we start calling people, you know the shit's over.
We're reaching now. You're reaching.
Finkadelic, man. In the motherfucking
Thanks for having me.
Gracias,
Blackout
brother.
Podcast. Thank you guys for having me. Thanks
Yeah.
for everybody who tuned in, too.
And we did get some shout outs to Anthony Brito, man,
Yeah, I
who
saw
dropped a
that.
donation as well.
Dope.
And he said dope ass podcast. And shout outs to everybody on the audio as well. Share this, give it a fat like if you haven't already. And if this is your first time to the channel, please just subscribe if you got a YouTube account. If you don't have one, it just takes a couple minutes, man. Just signs up, put an email, and you'll be supporting the platform as well by doing that. More great content coming up on the way.
Yep.
I know, let's see here. We just booked, I don't know for Monday, but I know, let's see, Little Grifo. I think Little Grifo is going to be on soon.
Yeah.
Who else do we say?
I gotta check the planner, but
Too many to name right now.
it's summer's coming up too, so there's gonna be a lot of stuff that's gonna be cracking with the Twitch as well. If you
Yeah.
haven't transformed over to that, follow us on Twitch at the Blockout Podcast, and make sure you guys subscribe. We're on the road to 10K. We're about to hit 8K by tonight, maybe. So
Bingo
you
Giz
know,
there.
just hit us up, man. Hit us up, like us, share us, subscribe to us. We're on iHeartRadio app, all the platforms. So.
And shout outs to Money Moons and Crystal Blackiana. They'll be back on with us Monday,
Yeah.
live from Bubba's Tacos.
Yeah, they were asking for them.
Yes, sir. All love. All right, we out. Peace.
Yo.